relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous people and their culture. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of Council held July 15, 2026 be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest, Councillor Framboise.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Loftus.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Poitier.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Lachance.
None, Your Worship.
And none for myself. You're going to be doing a presentation, but do you have questions on any of the, or comments on the rest of the agenda? No? Okay. Any announcements by council? No? Okay. Well, we will begin on item 3.1, which is Main Street Market St. Charles Arena Canteen presentation. Thank you very much.
Mayor and members of council, thank you for providing us with the opportunity to speak today regarding our proposal to operate the Arena Canteen. We appreciate the time that council has taken to review our submission and consider our vision for this service. Unfortunately, Christy could not be here due to her other work, so I will be speaking on behalf of both of us and the Main Street Market team. After watching the previous council meeting, we wanted to address the few questions and concerns that were raised and provide some clarification. One of the questions discussed was the proposed lease amount. We understand that minor hockey previously paid $750 per year, which is $25 more a month than our proposed annual payment, not including our proposed $50 extra a day during the off-season of hockey. While the difference in lease revenue is relatively small, our operating model is significantly different. Unlike the previous arrangement, Main Street Market will be responsible for hiring and paying staff, including wages, WSIB, insurance, payroll costs, and all other associated operating costs. We will also be expanding the menu considerably, offering fresh food prepared on-site and off-site at our main location, which results in higher food and operating costs, and we will also be bringing in a debit and credit card machine. In addition, we have committed to donating 10% of our profits back to minor hockey. We believe this commitment provides meaningful value to the community while helping support local sports. For these reasons, we believe our proposal represents a fair and sustainable balance. The additional $25 per month would not offset the increased expenses we will incur, and we respectfully remain committed to the amount outlined in our original proposal. Another topic discussed was our request regarding food and beverage sales within the arena. Our intention is not to prevent community groups from fundraising or to limit arena activities. Our request is simply that while Main Street Market is operating the canteen, we are the exclusive provider for food and non-alcoholic beverages. This exclusivity is essential to ensure that the canteen remains financially viable and allows us to recover the significant costs associated with staffing, inventory, equipment, and other daily operations. When the canteen is closed, we have no objection to other organizations providing food or beverage services to support arena events. We understand that the arena must continue to serve its users even when we are not present. We also recognize that alcoholic beverages were mentioned. Since Main Street Market does not sell alcoholic beverages, we have no concerns of those being offered during licensed events, whether we are operating the canteen or not. We would, however, appreciate clarification regarding the use of the canteen facilities if another group is providing food service while we are closed. Specifically, we would like to know whether if they have access to the canteen itself or just the upstairs kitchen. This is important because we have been advised that we may install our own equipment and maintain our own inventory within the canteen. We would prefer that those items remain secure and accessible only to our staff to protect our investment and minimize liability. We would also like to present council with an additional consideration on top of our proposal. We recognize that there will be times where the canteen is not open, such as during public skating, shinny, or other low attendance events that may not justify full staffing. We understand the importance of ensuring arena patrons still have access to refreshments during those times. To help address this issue, Main Street Market would be willing to supply, install, stock, and maintain a vending machine within the arena. This would provide convenient access to beverages and snacks whether the canteen is closed, and ensuring that arena users continue to have access to refreshments without creating additional costs or responsibilities for the municipality. We see this as another way to add value to our partnership within the municipality and improve the experience for everyone who uses this facility. Our goal is simple: We want to provide the community with a high-quality food service that reflects the standards we've established already at Main Street Market, and we believe our experience, our commitment to customer service, and our willingness to invest in staffing, equipment, expanded menu offerings will enhance the arena experience for residents and visitors alike. This proposal is not only an opportunity for our business, it's an opportunity to improve the food service available at the arena while supporting minor hockey, creating local employment, and contributing to the local economy. We would like to leave council with one final thought. Council is simply not selecting someone to operate a canteen. You're choosing a partner who will represent this arena every day. We at Main Street Market have already demonstrated a commitment to quality, customer service, community involvement, and investing in our community. We are prepared to invest our time, our resources, and our reputation into making this canteen a success. Our goal is to create a welcoming space where families, athletes, and visitors can enjoy fresh, quality food while supporting a local business that in turn gives back to our community. We believe this partnership has the potential to benefit the municipality, arena users, minor hockey, and the community for many users to come. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and the opportunity to speak with you today, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council?
None for myself. Thanks for taking the time, and I did read your letter, so it did clarify a lot. I guess we'll be discussing this later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Councillor Loftus?
No, thank you for your presentation. It was well worded.
Okay. Councillor Putzi?
I like the idea of vending machines. That definitely, for those low usage nights, stuff like that, that definitely brings a different added value to it. And maybe, with the program coordinator and hopefully bringing a little bit more people into the arena, it can help, promote that, the usage of the canteen a little bit more. So I like the idea, and I look forward to seeing it come to life. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Lachance, any questions, comments?
Thanks for your presentation. I just want to highlight the generosity and the donation of the 10% from minor hockey.
Yeah.
It speaks lots. So other than that, I think we'll discuss the rest later. But thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next item, 4.11, report to council agreement with RSM Building Consultant, Inc. Andrea.
You got more of those there.
That's okay. It's on. Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. This report is being brought forward as a follow-up to the April 1st report, where the department recommended to council to enter into an agreement with RSM Building Consultants as a training and a training support to the building department. There was some questions about other municipalities who had dealt with RSM Building Consultants. So we had received 3 answers from smaller, similar sized municipalities to what the municipalities that we deal with or that we are in, and to get a sense of how they had been dealing with RSM Building Consultants. I made a quick overview of the overall responses, but all generally positive in how they had been interacting with the company. Just to remind council, this is a firm specializing in supporting municipal building departments, basically with help in, the main focus that I'll be looking for is help in training, especially in plans review and potentially in inspection as well, to improve our overall service, but also to help train our new building inspector. And myself, there's constantly things to learn. So with the positive response from the municipalities and with my research, I really do recommend to council that you allow staff to enter into a 2-year agreement with RSM Building Consultants. And I open up to any questions.
Any questions?
I have no questions, and I am in agreement.
I'm also in agreement.
Okay, Councillor Putzi?
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm in favor of the recommendation. Any kind of support like that is beneficial, and as long as the costs kind of reflect that, it's beneficial to all parties involved. So, yeah.
Councillor Chance?
I see in the services that they provide, it specifies the virtual inspection services and stuff like that for assistance and for going over plans. Is there opportunity to have, like, say it's something that you needed assistance with for, like, especially since we're getting into the potential for inspecting the septic systems and such, is there opportunity for them to come and do an in-person training for some of the more in-depth stuff? Or?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't think I would use this service because they'd be traveling from so far away. We have other options for local help if we need it for on-site inspection. And I also, the other municipalities have found that their virtual inspections have been very helpful. So if we needed it, I'm sure I could ask for it. But I think that we will work better with a local option and then using them virtually once we get going. But again, always taking cost into account. And if we do find that it would be worth it to have a person on site, I just don't see it being that much of a need. But we could ask for it if we needed it.
Perfect, thank you. Thanks for your report.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Andrea. Much appreciated. Moving on to the next item, 412, updated to building bylaw, public review. Andrea, again.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. The changes to our building bylaw were presented to council in draft form on June 17th at the regular meeting. The report highlighted additions and amendments to the existing 2018 bylaw. The main changes being associated with updating of fees, also to include septic system application and associated fees. As per the building code, the Ontario Building Act, I'm sorry, it's been a really long day. According to the Ontario Building Code Act, any changes to fees in a building bylaw have to be posted to the public for 21 days. So we did post these changes to the municipal website, and it was noted on the Facebook page that these changes were being made. Up until just now, right before the meeting, I checked our SEB's email, and there had been no response from the public to these changes. So I do recommend to council that the bylaw be adopted as presented. And I'll just open up to questions.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Andrea regarding this?
Has this bylaw been adopted by any other municipalities?
To you, Mr. Mayor. It was presented last week to the municipality of French River. They adopted it. It's going forward to Killarney and Marks Day Warren next week.
So we've all seen Councillor Lachance's motion. I'm just, does approving this bylaw have any impact on council's ability to establish a governance board for SEB in the future? Can anyone answer that for me? Would that make a...
I don't think so, but
No.
do you have any response to that,
Not yet.
Dennis?
No.
No.
No, okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm
Okay.
in improvement then. Sure.
Okay, Councillor Loftus, any questions?
No, I'm in favor.
Okay, Councillor Potier?
No, we reviewed this, yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Chance?
Just one thing I caught now that I didn't catch the first time I went through, I know later on in the fee schedule, it specifies for demolition for square footage. But when we're talking about like inspection for like building a deck and stuff, it just says area times 30. So maybe we just specify for square footage instead of meters square, or, right? Because some people might interpret it as meters square, and if they're budgeting, they're like, oh, it's only gonna cost me $60, and then we're like, oh no, we're talking about square footage, so it's gonna cost me 3 times more, so.
I think, could we, yeah.
Just,
No, that's a good point. I'll make sure that that's clear.
and other than
That's
that, I think there's something else that I had, but it's not, what was it? Oh, and when we're doing the estimated cost of construction, it's just a question, not to change it, but we dividing by 1,000 and then multiplying by 10, and just for simplicity, if you're going to change it to $11 instead of putting 1.1 after, if you were to do it divide by 100 and times 1. Because we're dividing by 1,000 and times it by 10, you could divide by 100 and times by 1. Is it just
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. That is how I do the calculation, but that's just the way it's been written out, because back before the 2018 update, that $1,000 per, it was charged at $8 per $1,000 of construction. So it's kind of a common calculation. It just happens to be 10 at the moment. In the future, we might want to change it to 12 or bring it down. So the way it's written, I think, makes sense, but as far as us doing the calculation, yes, we do it in a more simplified way.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. I have a question. I'm not sure if it's yourself, Andrea, or Tammy. If considering Councillor Lachance's statement of changing it for the rate on a square footage or square meter, which one is it it's supposed to be?
Square footage.
Square footage? Should that be modified now?
If that's the case, I would not pass the bylaw, I would change the bylaw.
So we would wait another till next time?
Yeah, is that not something we can put in now as an amendment? Because the reason I said, yes, we need to make it clear, I'm be surprised if it's not mentioned anywhere.
I'm trying to find it as well.
I know.
It's not in the
It's
description.
always been how we calculated, so I'm surprised it's not.
Like under demolition, it specifies for like less than 538 square feet or more than 538 square feet, but that's just under section 4 demolition, so it just leaves open to interpretation, I feel. It doesn't nail it anywhere.
True. And that's the only place we say square feet in the entire bylaw? Interesting.
Payment of permit fees.
And then if you
7
go
doesn't
down
have
like
it.
site plans, and site plans are referring 30 meters, you know what I mean? Buildings are within 30 meters of each other, so it's kind of, it's using both in your bylaw. So I just wouldn't want, again, it's just for people that are budgeting for a project or something, it's the only time they'd be like, oh, I wasn't expecting.
That is true.
Can we put a one-liner at the top or at the bottom?
We could pass it and bring
First
an
and
amendment at
second?
the next one.
Oh, okay.
Amend the schedule in the next meeting.
True. And then we're good with, yep, sorry.
Okay,
That's a good point, and thank you.
all right, so that's how we'll handle it then. All right,
Okay.
thank you very much, Andrea. And next item, 4.21, report to council regarding arena roof. Michelle?
Thank you, Your Worship. Okay, so we posted the rehabilitation of the arena roof on Friday, June 19th, and closed on Wednesday, July 8th. All submissions were opened publicly. Now, in the report, we have a couple different items that were noted, and if we were utilizing the scoring criterion that is posted in our proposals, based on that, 70% of the would be based on the financial proposal, which is the most significant factor in the overall evaluation. However, several proponents offered roofing systems that offered longer warranties and higher quality materials. So if the municipality's objective was to award strictly in accordance with the published evaluation criteria, it would be, the recommended award would be to Renovations for the Rhino solution. However, I do have to note there was one clerical error made on this, was I was missing Hastings. They had provided an additional option and it wasn't noted in there. It was for $74,000 additionally on top of their original proposal for a 25-year limited warranty with 5-year labor warranty. So this did upgrade their scoring criteria. And it was an oversight, but it was considered in the overall consideration when we were scoring. So that being said, if we're going with the scoring criterion, it would be for Renovations, but I would like to consider that there was other proposals that were submitted by Renovations that were provided as a higher longevity for our dollars, which is what the staff recommendation is. So we have the opportunity to award to the vendor, and then we can renegotiate based on their other proposal. Staff's recommendation is for the 100% silicone, which provides provides, an increase of $45,000 more upfront than the polyurea, which had another high warranty value to the municipality. But the silicone provides 10 additional years of warranty coverage and 22% better value. So it would also delay the major roof of rehabilitation by 10 years and would delay future procurement. So that is staff recommendation, which is not in line with the scoring criteria. Questions?
And there's a savings, right?
It's a little bit, it's more money than what the scoring criterion was, because that would have put us at, I think it's 265, and the 100% silicone is at 310, which is still significantly less than what we budgeted for, which was also an error. It's 450 noted in here. Our budget was 420, just to be clear.
All right, thank you. Any questions on the report?
Not for myself, I'm in agreement.
Okay, Councillor Loftus.
No, I'm also in agreement.
Councillor Poitier.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the recommendation of going with renovations for the 100% silicone. Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward to, especially to not go with the original Rhino roof spray. That was 10 years only. That was not very ideal.
Okay. Councillor Lachance.
Thanks for the report. It was very detailed. And the first time I heard of the silicone roofs, I did a little bit of research on it. I wanted to see how easy it is to do a repair later on after the 30 years window or whenever it needs to be done. And maybe somebody'd like to know, it's pretty simple. A good pressure wash spray to spray down the silicone surface. And in areas that it seems damaged, you got to scuff it up a little bit so that the new silicone treatment adheres to it. But if you had like a spot repair or something to do, you could do it. So after doing a little bit of research, it seemed like a very, very good option. So.
All right. Thank you very much for that extra research. Therefore, we have a resolution right below. Who will be the mover and the seconder? Councillor Lachance, Councillor Poitier?
Moved by Councillor Lachance and seconded by Councillor Poitier. Be it resolved that Council awards proposal 2026-07 for the rehabilitation of the arena roof to Renovations for the amount of $310,000 plus applicable HST.
All those in favor? Carried. All right. Thank you very much, Michelle. Next item, 431, report to council, new NORDS funding allocation. Pamela.
Okay. So in the 2026 provincial budget, it was announced that NORDS has been extended for another 5 years. When doing our own municipal budget, that announcement hasn't been made, so it wasn't calculated in our 2026 budget. So the funds coming in nor projects going out were in our budget. It has been clarified that the NORDS has now expanded to agricultural resources. Before it was only forestry and mining. So it does expand our horizon of where we can use these funds. Previously, we could use them on Turcot, Beauparlant, Kingstree, and partial Casimir. So that's why we've been using the funds for the project that we have had here, most of it for the engineering part of it at the beginning. So this fund, I have to apply for it beforehand. So the application close is at July 31st. So that's why I'm coming to council to ask where we would like to spend the funds so that we can go and apply for these. So the recommendation that I currently have, there's three options. One is that we apply all the funds, so we can pre-apply for the funds. So each year we're going to get $85,994.09. which is a total of $429,970.43 over the 5 years. So I have clarified that we can use that for a project this year. And then just every year when I report, just say that we've used it in this year. We will not receive the full funds, even if we are spending it. We would still get our $85,000 per year. So as we spend it, we would have to take it from our reserve. And then as the $85,000 comes in, we would then replenish that reserve. So the other option is using part of it to lower our loan, our debenture for this project, or the other option is to forego using any of it on this project, keep it the full debenture, and use it on other projects. So by using it, we save a substantial amount of savings in interest over the 25-year period by reducing our principal portion that we initially borrow. So I've kind of done a comparison here so that you can see. And over the 25 years, we save just over $300,000 in interest over 5 years, or over 25 years, sorry. And then just to give council an opportunity to see what we've done in the past, for the past 5 years, there's a chart there that says where we've spent our money for the last couple projects. So it's just up to council to direct me on how to apply for this upcoming funding for NORDS.
All right. So if we apply it 100% towards Main Street East,
King Street.
King Street, thank you very much, then there's a savings of about 300. Is the cash flow going to be affected in any way? Let's say we do follow that route, we have the savings, and it's not going to, then we have to use our money for the other projects. We have no problem managing it on, no? Okay.
No. We have enough built-in reserve, barring any emergencies or anything like that. But emergencies happen, we potentially would get a debenture for those. But yeah, I have no issues with cash flow right now.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
No, thanks for the detailed information, and that's a significant savings. The only question I do have, actually, you mentioned the agriculture. Do you know, like, exactly, how can I say that? Would, so now that it's like agriculture's been added, could we use that for like municipal drains and stuff like that? If we need, because I know that's like there's a lot of municipal drains that need to be cleaned. Like, would that be a?
You would have to somehow
Like
dictate how the agricultural has affected the drain. I don't know for sure, but I would have to look into it.
I'm just curious for future, like under the Drainage Act, and see if the infrastructure would qualify. Like for later on or whatever.
Yep.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
No.
Councillor Loftus?
No, I like your option one where we would save over 300,000. I think that's a significant amount for us to save over 25 years. So my option would be to go with option one.
Councillor Putzi?
I just want to clarify, so we're reducing the debenture amount? That's what-
Correct. The
Yeah,
initial
okay.
debenture amount, we went and borrowed the full 4.4, 4.7. We would bring it down to 4.3.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm in favor of as well. Yeah, as mentioned, the savings is, well, you can't beat that, so. Yeah,
Okay.
it's great that it came through before the debenture, yeah. So, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lachance?
Thanks for your report. I only had one thing that you covered pretty much every way to take and spend the money. The only thing that I didn't see, and I have a question. If we were to take it and invest it and let it sit in our account, what's our interest rate?
We are prime plus 2%,
So that would be.
or prime minus 2.
That's not very good, eh?
No,
So that would.
But which we are-
4.68% of interest that we're paying.
correct.
That's the only. Thank you.
All right.
Option one.
All right. So option one is the favorite. Thank you very much. Next item, 4.41, report to council, Service Ontario. That's yours, Tammy.
Through your worship, so I've got this report before council for 3 different items. First is for council to approve the amending agreement from Service Ontario. Next, the council approved the job description for the part-time position. And finally, that council provide direction regarding proposed hours of work for the part-time position following the training period. So with my report, everyone can see we've got the amending agreement received from Service Ontario. The only thing changed is the Schedule 3 and Schedule 4. Currently, we are receiving $6,099.44 per month, and that's going up to $7,599.44 per month, which is the difference of $1,500. That's going to be effective August the 1st. No other terms of the agreement were changed. All of our obligations remain the same. This just allows us to hire the part-time position for 17 and a half hours at $25.46 per hour. So that's it for the agreement. Is there any questions on the agreement?
None for myself.
Myself.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So the job description, I based that on the current full-time positions job description. However, made sure to add in a lot of language about the Employment Standards Act. Because this is a part-time position, it doesn't fall under the collective agreement. So it's completely governed by employment standards. So I wanted to make sure that we were covered sufficiently with language about the Employment Standards Act. So is there any questions about the job
Any
description?
questions?
So both full-time and part-time, that is the job description?
Basically, yes.
The only question I have, because I remember when everything was 100% funded by the ministry, it was mentioned that they cannot do any municipal work.
So the preference is not, and you'll see in the job description, it actually says may support municipal office administration. So we have on occasion asked for, would you mind doing
Yeah.
a photocopy or whatever?
Okay.
But to dedicate like an entire day's worth of work to the municipality,
It's here and
no.
there. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
That we
so
don't get caught up in-
I tried to cover that by using the word may.
Yeah. Okay. Everything else looks good.
I'm in favor.
Okay.
So the full-time is union though?
Full-time is unionized, yes.
Okay. And then, so this is essentially gonna be following, well, it's following ESA. Have we, since we have a, relationship with HR Works now, has that gone through them
Yeah.
at all?
It has
Or-
not, but I
no?
can.
Okay, it might be prudent to do that, just,
Okay.
I know it was maybe brought up that our job descriptions and, stuff like that could possibly use some work, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could definitely submit that tomorrow.
Okay.
With the hopes that this gets posted by.
Yeah, is it
Tuesday,
meant to be posted?
Wednesday,
Okay,
Friday or Tuesday, it'll be
Okay.
posted if she gets back to me.
All right. That's
Okay.
actually a good idea. Any
Thank
other
you.
comments?
no, that was it.
Councillor Lachance?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. The only thing for me is space-wise, what the scheduling's gonna be like, if it's gonna be, one gets most of the day, and I know during the training period, it's gonna be a bit more loaded, obviously, when they're trying to get familiar with the systems.
Yeah, so as far as the training period, I'm recommending a 3-month training period, at minimum. So that's going to take us August, September, October into November. Proposing 3.5 hours a day so that they're actually getting daily work and not getting a lapse in time between training, because they're not gonna have a lot of time in front of the computer. And I think if you're only giving somebody a full day and a half of work and then making them sit and wait for a few days before they come back for more training, it might be more difficult to retain the knowledge. So for that reason, I was proposing the 3.5 hours per day, Monday to Friday, 1 to 4:30. takes them off the lunch schedule, and they finish the day at the same time as the current full-time person.
And as far as like if the full-time person working this be absent for a shift, is there wiggle room to have that person more than the 17 and a half hours a week, or if they filled in that day, you'd adjust the following week kind of thing on a bi-weekly schedule for,
I believe we
35?
can do that.
Okay. Perfect.
So after the training period, before the training period's over, one of the things that I was looking for council to consider, and I would approach Service Ontario about, is amending the hours of operation that we currently have, and being able to offer from 8 till 5, similar to all the other municipal office staff. That being said, it would then open the door to perhaps give the full-time position a 4-day work week. And then we could have that part-time in for an entire day and work the rest of the hours out across the week. So that was my proposal. If council's in agreement with that, I would definitely discuss with Service Ontario.
Okay, I have no problem, but.
No, but I remember bringing it forward to you. I think we could actually arrange that the part-time gets a day off also, eh? I think I had put it in this, like, a full day on a Friday or vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect. I'm in agreement.
Councilor, you good with
Yeah,
that?
I'm in agreement.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like a good proposal, as long as the applicants are
Yeah.
willing to do that, that's all. So.
That's my concern. If somebody has another part-time job and they work Mondays and Tuesdays, and then they've got, but again, it depends on who applies, what their hours are, whether they have flexible hour. So I think we have to keep in mind that whoever applies might have preferences, and
We may have to work around those.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We may have to be flexible.
so, but I'm in agreement if we can manage the 4-day work week for that full-time staff. Give the other person a full day. I think it would work out nice. All right, thank you very much. Next item, item 451, report to council canteen rental agreement, and possible amendments. Denis.
Yes, your worship. So this, I just prepared a report. I know council received the presentation tonight. We have all seen the original tender and the proposed agreement. So I tried to address some of the questions that council were discussing at last meeting. There was concern of the canteen not being open. I do know with the proposal tonight of a possible vending machine, that if a vending machine comes along, then we will be assured that there would be refreshments and or snacks available. So if that is the case, having a posted and making sure the canteen is open for every event is diminished with the availability of food. So I don't know if you still want to go to the route of posting a calendar and which days they're going to be open and closed to allow people to come in. But if with a vending machine now, that mitigates a bit of, like, for public skating. If they're not going to be open, well, then there's a vending machine.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that addresses council's concern of the canteen being open, but that was an option that I come up with, is that we put a calendar and they would say what day they would be open.
Okay.
So.
I think personally with the option of having a vending machine, it alleviates the need. However, when there has to be a service there during the main events, so, but.
Yes, I'm in agreement. I like the vending machine, and I know it was brought up also, if other, well, I guess the canteen is theirs. I don't think no one else should have access to the canteen, like she mentioned. So I want to make that clear. No one else should be operating under their there's stuff and,
No.
yeah.
I think-
And
I think the-
vending, and then there was something else there. There was something else.
Were we going through them one at a time, or?
Well, we're just going with this one first, though?
Those scheduled events.
Come, so about the vending machine, are you good with that? And-
Sorry, I am good with that,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, we'll just try to, you.
Yeah, oh, yes, I'm
Okay.
okay with the
Councilor
vending
Putzi?
machines.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, the other ones was, it's a bit related to who has the right to sell. Obviously, the offer sitting on our table is, they would be the full exclusivity of providing food for the arena. And I did provide some option or discussion points. Obviously, we all know there's not that many events at the arena, but if we do rent the hall for a specific, a wedding, somebody wants to have a reception, small reception upstairs, they have to understand they can't sell concession, well, it should be noted in their contract, the concession food is part of the canteen right. But if they want to do a spaghetti dinner, and that's where I don't know if that addresses the discussion, but we don't have that many events. I know we, apart from the few tournaments, but if the tournaments are doing a spaghetti dinner, again, I'm using spaghetti because it's traditionally not a canteen, but technically it's a bit more than a canteen. There's a few options that council may want to consider, whether to protect only the standard menu, which I know it's a bit more evolved than the hot dogs and wraps there, because I do know they have a full gamma of food at their
Main Street Market?
at their disposal. They could be put at the first right of refusal, like many events, is if like they're doing a spaghetti dinner, they could cater the spaghetti dinner. Or number three is full exclusive rights. And the private renters can only bring for their own guests. So if they rent for the wedding, they can't sell it. So it's part of the reception. So,
Yeah.
which is probably the normal, which is you do a private rental, you have a spaghetti dinner, you don't sell it to your guests. So, but that, it may come, like a tournament here would be in a bit of a clash because the tournament may want to sell spaghetti and serve their, I don't know, the tournament guests. So I don't know if council wants to delve in this or consider a private rental. And I'll just, the note is bolded down here, because if we're comparing apples to apples, when the last 3 years minor hockey has been renting the canteen, but it was also their event for the tournament, so they did not have a conflict there. So the current price difference of $165, and I have to explain the $165, which is brought up, is the term of minor hockey was October 15th to March 15th, which technically 5 months. What is proposed now is 6 months. So we're comparing a bit of a nod numbering. So if you do compare why it's $25 and $165, I just wanted to point out the term difference, whether we want to adjust that because ice only goes in on the second week of October. So there is a bit of no activities other than we are hopefully having more and more kids participate in the programming stuff, events there. Though when you're putting ice, there's no more events on the ice surface. As soon as the ice making plant starts, you can't have the basketball court. It has to come off. Hopefully we'll have alternate sports. I know there's great expectation of having other activities as part of the programming above the basic of what we had proposed. But at this point,
Vending machines are going to be a good thing, right?
oh, especially if it's there from noon to 4, if there's 5 kids, maybe they'll all grab a little bag of chip or something, or a healthy sandwich, sorry. We gotta go away from salty food, so. Again, I don't know if the council wants to discuss this one, or I can continue the alcohol sales, because alcohol sales, obviously, it was mentioned that there's no interest. I was just saying, an exclusion of, it's not included, their canteen. If they want to sell, then it has to be a negotiated addition.
Okay.
And lastly, if council wish to consider, if we bring back events like the ATV fundraiser event, if it's a major event, we may want to have more providers there. But obviously, if we do give exclusive rights, we should have a clause to give us let's negotiate a fair compensation to make sure that they're fairly compensated for us bringing other events. So I don't know if council wants to consider that one. So that was an add-on I did put on. So so. That's the
All right.
council.
I think that's the big one, like for when people rent, do they have first dibs, or is it the canteen that has? I personally am of the opinion that if somebody goes out as a wedding or as an event, they have the opportunity. They are the ones that are guiding the event, and if they would wish to have assistance, well, then they would have that opportunity to go discuss an arrangement. Or if they wish to have, if it's a fundraiser for the parish or for some other group, maybe they would like to have a bit more, knowing that they're going to have to put in more, but have the extra revenue from food sales. So that's the question. What is your opinion on that?
I've always seen it as if they're going to be part of the canteen, it's the canteen itself. And it should be open to any other events that want to rent, but I don't think it should be solely that they have to rent from them, like the people that are renting. Do you understand what I mean? The canteen, like the canteen itself, whoever has the canteen, that's their
Exactly. Domain, yeah.
But if you're renting for a wedding or whatever, you can offer, but they shouldn't have to be, it shouldn't, the people that are,
Who would be in
fine.
control? The people
Yes, yeah.
renting, or the people?
so the people that are renting should have the control of who they're choosing, if they need food or not. But it should also be noted, if it's like, I think we're looking at the minor hockey example. If we're looking at the minor hockey, I honestly think the minor hockey back then, they had the canteen, they did the food all, like, for the whole arena. If it's a private, I see it as a private, like a wedding, I think people that are renting as a wedding, like, venue, it should be the wedding itself. They should be deciding who they're taking. But as a minor hockey, I think the canteen should have first bid. Do you understand what I mean?
Option one, I think
Okay.
that's what option one is, right?
Yeah, it is option one, but it's, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Canteen has exclusive
Yeah.
concession
Because-
rights, but private rentals can serve full meals if they want to sell concession food, The canteen gets first rights of refusal. Okay,
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
so you're going option one.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the option one, I think the canteen should be exclusive to Main Street for minor hockey and skating and stuff, but if it becomes a private event, then, upstairs, then they should be, like you said, an example, a wedding, they should be preparing their meal upstairs for their wedding. It's a private event.
Okay. How's everybody say?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Cantina has exclusive concession rates. If there's a private rental, it's more about serving full meals. I don't think that happens too often at the arena for the most part. The one thing I do like is Denise's addition here about the municipal events. I think we should have in there, you know, if they reserve the right to negotiate with the canteen operator. I'm just thinking, like we did for Canada Day, we had, you know, multiple vendors from the area who were there. I think that should kind of be, there should maybe be a clause in there just about that, just to,
Specific to Canada Day?
no, not specific to Canada Day, but
Municipal events.
maybe municipal events, yeah. And it's, I mean, they don't really happen very often in the arena, but I know with the program coordinator, there's some interest in maybe building out some other events, so. And then, yeah, so it's just option one, but just expanded on what was mentioned a little later on. And then the alcohol sale, there's nothing really of concern there. Current price. Yeah, I don't really have any concerns with the proposed price. I think the 50 extra a day might become a bit of a odd one, but I guess we'll have to see when we get there. Because if the program coordinator, if that role kind of expands and next year it becomes, maybe there's more availability throughout the days and stuff, there might be more interest in being there in the off season, and then that $50 a day becomes
Yeah.
a little bit
The future's still unknown.
excessive. Yeah, yeah. So, and at any point, I mean, is there the ability to bring that back? I guess after, I think I just want to leave that one kind of open a little bit, right? Because it's like,
Leave what open?
well, because it's for a 2-year contract, right?
Yeah.
Well, if after a year we're seeing some
More activity?
more activity in the summer months, and then it's becoming it's $50 a day in the off season, well, that's not really sustainable, right? So I don't know what we want to do about that one there, that $50 a day, because that's what it is, right? That's what was proposed, is $50 a day, if open during the off season as a rental fee. So I don't know if we want to talk a little bit more about that one.
Just
but-
thinking about the German event, that you pay $50 a day to have a German event.
Yeah,
What was the logic behind the $50 a day?
That was a
Off-season.
proposal.
that was
That-
yeah.
That's
Oh, that was, you adopted that, okay. And, okay, what was your concept on the $50 a day?
Our concept on the $50 a day was if municipality wanted us to be there for Canada Day, then we would pay $50 to be open for Canada Day as part of our rental fee. If there was another off.
Just a
Labor Day weekend.
one-off day sort of
Yeah,
thing.
we were not aware that there was gonna be extending opportunities during the summer.
Add-ons.
Yeah, it was more of less a Canada Day, a Labor Day celebration, the 3 or 4 events during the summertime.
Okay, all right. But I'm agreeing with yourself, if all of a sudden in the next year or so, we could become more active and there's interest, I think we should have a clause can be renegotiated before the 3 years is up. Yes,
Just to add to Councillor Putzi is we will draft an agreement, hopefully get an understanding, and it'll be brought back to council. So
Yeah.
there'll be the opportunity to discuss
Okay,
the agreement and hopefully with the clauses in
sounds good.
to cover it.
okay. Anything else?
No, I'm good. I think Councilor Pavois,
I'm just curious, so an example, would she be able to open at the baseball tournament, family baseball tournament?
It's a different building.
Because I think, I just want to make sure
Yeah,
to bring that forward to this,
okay.
yeah.
It would be no different in a sense as having their
Exactly.
store
Yes,
versus, in my
Yes, that
my
would-
view.
good.
Yourself, Councillor Chance?
Yeah, just a couple little housekeeping things. So if say there was an event, we're pretty much saying that we don't rent out the kitchen no more. Like,
no, you
Why?
can.
I missed
but
the,
not for sales.
Not concession items that are sold, well, not concession items that are sold.
And this is what I'm saying, so like, we're almost almost at a point where you're eliminating the kitchen rental as an option, flat out. Because concession sales, like for any event, for other than a private event like a wedding or such. Because that's almost what this is doing.
So you think it would be better if it, like, private events?
I just think
Separate
that,
it
I think
from
the
any
canteen
public-
The canteen is one of our rental items in our previous rental fee structures. And the kitchen is its own, and the hall is its own. So if you start giving one renter the power to say, well, I don't want that room to get rented out for this weekend for that use, we're losing recoverable funds. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's an event and the canteen's operating and the person that's renting says, oh, I want to run a kitchen, we say, oh no, you can't rent the kitchen because our other.
No,
we're
Option one is only, well, there's two options for the kitchen upstairs. One is you're providing food for at no cost to your, say, wedding. The other one, you would be selling food, but not canteen items.
Okay.
So if
like
they
the
have
mud run,
popcorn-
if we had a spaghetti supper, because that was a huge,
Like spaghetti,
huge
yeah.
thing for the mud run, for example.
That would be option one, where the private renter would not be serving a traditional
If I could
canteen.
propose something else then, because I know option one probably wasn't the favored ask, if we could just amend that and say that, while the kitchen is also operating for an event, that 10% donation that they're proposing to minor hockey doesn't have to be a standing, how would you say? It's not considered owed if the other venue is also selling food for a fundraiser, you know what I mean? It's,
That is
they're
the
offering
big question.
They're offering 10% of the profits, which when someone else is operating, they're gonna see less profits in the long run if there's somebody else that has a spaghetti dinner, for example. So I would say that the 10% could probably be waived on occasions as such. Are you following what I'm saying? That don't make it that you have to pay the 10% all the time, then 10% is appreciated. And when there is someone else that's renting out or selling food out of upstairs, that could be waived for that event. If they want to still donate it, they can still donate it, but I wouldn't put it as a hard condition if the kitchen's also rented out, if that makes sense. So just a small amendment to option one for that.
All right, any, yes,
Well, I'm
comment?
just wondering, like, okay, for an example, the hockey tournament that we have in February. That canteen will be worked off their feet because there's so many people in the arena. So I'm just wondering, like, because like you said, there's a spaghetti dinner upstairs. So is there a way that we can get the person that's renting the arena for the weekend to discuss it with the, like, say, downstairs and say, okay, we're gonna sell pizza, we're gonna sell hot dogs, we're gonna sell this and this and this, and upstairs you can sell spaghetti, you can sell, like, I know a lot of people like the hot food, like, you know, fries and gravy and stuff like that, but they're also gonna make fries and gravy too, so. But I think a tournament like that, because it is a big tournament, I think in order to not make people wait, the two facilities should be open, but there should be some type of a negotiation of what they're selling upstairs is not gonna be duplicate from downstairs.
But who's in control? That
I
is
know.
the
That's-
scenario,
it's-
is it the
it's just
people
that-
renting?
The one tournament that I'm concerned with because, and I mean even the ball tournament, it's a charitable tournament.
Yeah,
So all the funds go towards charities. I mean, it's not that, you know, Main Street, I mean, they are giving donations, they're going above and beyond to get debit card, like they want this to work.
They're setting
with-
up
Yeah,
to
they
win,
want
yeah.
this for the community, which is awesome. But I'm just concerned about when we have like these charities.
That
I don't
is
want
my-
people to clash, and I don't want them to go without, like, I mean, they're putting their money, they're putting, you know, vending machines, they're doing a lot, so where do we draw the line of who sells what?
Exactly. That's the question.
That's,
So,
Denise got it all figured out.
well, in the report, number 2, posted canteen menu. So I'll just read it out. So as part of the agreement, the canteen operator shall submit a proposed menu identifying the foods and beverages intended to be sold from the canteen. The menu shall be approved by the municipality. I'll change the wording, shall not be approved, shall be considered for approval by the municipality, or because the way here, we have to approve it as received.
That requires sampling.
The canteen operator may request addition, deletions, revision to the approved menu at any time, providing written notice and receiving approval by the municipality. This could be a way to say if we know that it's going to be a chilly weekend at the hockey tournament, and it's not on the canteen menu, there's no conflict, it's not a canteen term. But then again, it is you can have a menu variety from many things. And I don't know what, you might have wings and beer upstairs and.
We're not trying to tell people how to run their business though, we just wanna make sure there's not a conflict between
Yeah.
Yeah.
two potential renters, right? Cause if we're renting downstairs and upstairs.
So,
Okay, yeah,
So we don't have many rentals
I
in the
know.
arena. And you guys are you're talking about giving exclusions to the major ones that this business will actually earn money on. So you might make it not opportunistic for them to continue to operate if you're giving all these exceptions to bypass their sales. It's not like that one tournament is like the major bread and butter. Other than hockey games, there's no really opportunity for them to earn income. And I understand weddings, and I think by having that clause saying that if they opt out, like I'm sure they don't want to cater a 200-person wedding,
Maybe
right?
they
They might, but, and then your private events, pretty much all events are private, because it's rented out by private organizations. So if you're gonna put that only private events have the option to sell, you have to specify what a private event is, because in my opinion, they're all private events.
yeah.
So just be careful of that.
My question is more, again, we have the kitchen upstairs as a rental option.
Correct.
So by giving exclusive rights to one renter, you almost have to remove the other option, is all I'm saying. Because it doesn't,
Or what we could do also is if we look at what's happening in the Warren Arena,
I don't know.
the canteen opens when it desires. Their choice. Doesn't matter what's happening. If the vendor upstairs or somebody upstairs wants to offer their menu, they offer their menu. Okay? And to eliminate the I said no, I got the hot dog, no, you got they sell each what they want. You have whatever you want, you do it. If yours is better, you get more sales. And at the, like, let's say for event, what event, there was a few hockey events, the canteen was open in the basement on the main floor, and the kitchen was open upstairs. Both were making whatever funds they could.
Same as French River. They have the canteen, whoever owns the canteen operates the canteen, and upstairs, it's usually the chip sandwich.
Yeah, and they don't,
And it's the same, it's like you get, sit upstairs, you get wraps, you get vice versa, it's the same, but it's pretty much the same pricing too.
And I think the confusion becomes where I was gonna sell the hot dogs. No, I said, okay, we're creating confusion. So to eliminate the confusion, eliminate that clause. And they have opportunity to open at all events. Well, maybe not weddings, but that's their choice. And upstairs kitchen has the opportunity to open. And if it's like if it's a hockey tournament or whatever, if they say, oh no, well, we're gonna go support that's their option. That's another method we could look at. I don't know if it's, because you say I'm not
It's
as.
happening in French River.
Yeah,
That's how
I
it
know it's
works.
happening and Warren. So, so what do you think of that one?
So we're going back, so the canteen, it's strictly themselves, and if someone rents upstairs, it doesn't matter if it's minor hockey, they have the kitchen.
If they rent the
If they
kitchen,
want
they have the
Yeah.
kitchen, or they can get an agreement, have a sit down and say, okay, I'm not gonna open the kitchen, we'll funnel everything through you, and maybe they can make an agreement of some type. That's all on them, whatever they wanna do.
So what you're saying is that they wanna guarantee having all the sales that operate the canteen and also rent the kitchen for that event.
Well, they would have to, like,
Well, then-
yeah.
Like, is that what-
No, but, I don't know, that's another option. What do you think of that one?
No, I just like the idea of if they're gonna rent the canteen, they've got exclusive to the canteen, and if there's an event upstairs and they do happen to rent the hall, then I guess we're gonna have to, like, kind of share the wealth. That's just for that, but I mean, as
But the
far
renter
as,
has to rent the kitchen, right? Upstairs you can rent the hall but not the kitchen, am I correct on that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Two separate-
so
Well,
it's
they're-
not,
No, they're paying for the canteen, so.
yeah, no, but upstairs, like if, like she's saying, if someone is renting upstairs the hall, you can rent the hall but not rent the kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's your choice if you wanna rent the kitchen,
yeah.
right?
How about yourself?
I mean, realistically, there isn't gonna be a whole lot of other people that are
There's
going
not,
in there.
that's it.
Yeah.
We're maybe making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, I mean, we could see how it goes the first year, and then renegotiate after that, but I mean, honestly, I think if it came down to it, I think, I don't know if, you've spoken to, Maria or, Joel about, when they were running the canteen. I know during the family tournament, it gets extremely hectic in there. But, I mean, running a business, you kind of get that all the time, I guess, so, I don't know, I'm open to either or, but as long as there is maybe the possibility of a discussion, happening, between, the canteen operator and whoever is renting. At the end of the day, we're all the community here, and
Yeah.
it's just to work together. I think at best, what would be offered upstairs would, in the past, there was like spaghetti dinners and stuff like that. It wasn't. I know in the old days it was different food served upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
That's all there was. It was more. It was more
doesn't apply
wholesome.
to the summer, it won't apply to when the mud run is open
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, it's not in that 5
Yeah.
month, sorry, this one.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, the kitchen comes with the hall. You can
Oh,
rent
it
the
does?
kitchen separately if you only want the kitchen.
Hmm.
But the kitchen comes with the hall rental.
Okay.
Again.
Hey. Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
a little
That's it, right?
I still think we should still put something in there for the 10%, that if someone else is operating at the same time, they don't have to.
I don't think it's part of the contract. I think it's more, it's a goodwill.
That's an offer.
I think it's a goodwill. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think that should be a binding.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's nice and all, but,
You got enough to, okay. Moving ahead. Next item, a report to council revised helmet policy, item 452. Denis again.
Yes, your worship. Previously, the municipality had a helmet policy strictly for public skating. That was the only programming that the municipality offered. Everything else was done by volunteers. You rent the ball field and they would be responsible for their events. Now with the offering, as it slowly grows, we are offering multiple sports. Anything played on the concrete ice pad, such as ball hockey, or baseball or softball, we should be wearing helmets. I'm being told that we do have a sufficient helmets for the baseball and softball. I think we only play softball here. I don't think we play. We don't offer baseball. But anyways. Well, that's true.
Smaller ball.
Basketball, we do have a court that does not, has a absorption to a fall of 4 feet, so it's certified. So you don't have to wear a helmet while playing basketball on the concrete surface because we have an absorbing floor. It would be kind of odd playing basketball with a helmet, so, but if it was on concrete floor, it would have been required. So as the old agreement only dealt with public skating, and there are requirements in Ontario or to have policies regarding concussion. It's been included in this policy. I did only highlighted one thing from the old policy in here. I know it was a point of discussion of the previous council of the age mandatory for public skating. I know public health started at 16, if I do remember. Council adopted 12. I didn't do any further research. I just know the recommendation is for a higher age. Council felt, it might have been even this council, I can't even remember, but I know it's been a while. Council said 12 years of age and under for the helmet. I don't know if council wants to increase this to 16, but currently it is 12 years of age and under. So it is a, and then everyone else is strongly recommended. It reads for itself. If council has any other questions on the procedures policy, they can definitely ask. It's a standard policy that you would find at other locations. So,
All right, yeah, all the schools, we also have concussion policies, and if a child hits their head or whatever, the parent basically has to sign off before we accept the kid back, so anyhow. Oh yeah, I wasn't aware of that one, but anyhow, how about question 1, we decide whether or not we want to keep it at 12 years old or bring it up to 16? For that, well, that's just on the ice, right?
yes, it was for public skating
For public
at
skating?
that point, yes.
I'm fine with 12.
We're fine with 12?
I'm fine with 12.
Yeah, I'm okay with 12.
Okay. Want to
Doesn't
chime
matter.
in, doesn't matter, but,
It's always been 12.
Yeah, the only, I was gonna say, if you would update to 16, you can just go option for waiver if a child is 12 years of age, between 12 and 16, if the parent wants to sign a waiver or whatever.
yeah, that would be a nice, and then that way,
We're following the recommendations,
You
I
can
think
drive a
it's still
car.
get away with it.
Yeah, they can drive a car.
Well, I know that when the school has their rental, for example, the school makes all the students wear a helmet, right? So regardless of their age.
because not all kids are adept at skating, I can tell you.
No.
Some
Or adults.
for adults, there we go. But it's just for children, we have to be more conscious and more aware and take more precautions. So that's the only reason I was also thinking of bringing it up to 16 because, and if we have the waiver option for between 12 and 16, that would still give them the opportunity if parents chime in. But if you have a 14-year-old that says, no, I'm not going to wear no stinking helmet, and he puts it there and goes out on the ice and he bumps his head, oh
I think
well,
the biggest difference, the only difference it could make is that if we have a policy that states the child is to be 12 years of age, I know the workers aren't checking IDs, kids usually don't have IDs with them. It's easier to distinguish if a child is 16 than if a child is like 11 to 12.
yeah.
That's the only thing to me that, because if an 11-year-old gets hurt on the ice and suffers a concussion, we'd be in a position of getting sued because our employee did not enforce our policy. But it's easier to distinguish a 16-year-old than the 11, 12, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the only reason for
I'm
a
just
legal
thinking-
aspect is the only thing I see.
I'm just thinking now, if we do the waiver part now, you gotta track that.
Well,
Yeah.
when they buy their skating pass for the year or,
Yeah,
or, well,
It's like that.
well, they can.
But most of them just show up.
They just show up.
For public skating, they'll
Or
show up
policing.
like.
Well, they have a little, I'm sure some idea, if they don't have idea, we're not sure, you wear your helmet.
maybe we need to do a sign-in, like, just get an iPad there and I don't know, more,
Yeah.
put a sign in or something that. Well, you know what I mean, like, I know it's hard to police, I understand it, but I'm just looking at it at the liability side of things, where this says 12, there's a kid that looks 12, that's 10 or 11 and bonks their head on the ice, we're in a bad spot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they're 11, they're not supposed to be on the ice without a guardian either, though. They shouldn't be there without a guardian.
Doesn't say that.
That's not part of that, but that's also part of another policy, I'm pretty sure.
You might wanna put it in the policy.
I was pretty
Including-
sure that was part of another policy, because I know,
For the gym or something.
well, no, I think for the, day-to-day, like 12 to 4 programming, I know I'm pretty sure 12 and under is supervision required. From, you know, the emails and the postings, but yeah, maybe it was only in that it was 12 and under supervision was required, but I'm pretty sure, there was something regarding public skating where maybe there's a sign there or something, I don't know. I was pretty sure that it was 12 and under.
Well, it brings
Okay.
up a point,
Supervision
there's
is
something,
required.
we need to,
Yeah.
we need to do something, like, just to put,
Yeah,
to ensure that we're not liable for anything. So there's either a guardian or a waiver or something, maybe has to be brought back.
So,
Well, I'll add it
with
to
that
the-
new information, we'll go through it one more time. What's your opinion?
It's gonna be very hard to, it is a good point. But it's gonna be very hard for that one person, if he's busy in the back, people are coming in. I've been to public skating before. It's hard to manage.
Well, there's always like a period where everybody's getting used to the new rules and they're, oh no, I'm not gonna wear. But then if there's,
Like
no,
we
you
had
gotta wear
kids
your.
on snow machines coming in at 11, 12 years old, and parking their snow machine. They're still not 16, you know what I mean? And
They're wearing a helmet on their snow machine.
I understand that, but it's, some kids have a mustache at 13. How
Yeah.
do you justify that, right? Like, you can't ask, how do you get the ID unless the parents are not there? I'm sure they don't carry their health card. I don't know. It's iffy. I completely understand, because it is a big problem, concussions and stuff, but
If the question is asked, the attendant, like, you know, are you 12 years old? And they say I'm over 12, then you have a verbal, at least there was an interaction of some
Yeah.
kind of a, I don't know.
unless cards are made and a different color is, and then they have to show their cards even though they don't pay, like they pay every time, I don't know.
There's
Like-
ways of dealing and solving the
We've gotta
problem.
make sure
but-
that we have the people to help out, right? Like it's,
Well, we have the coordinator that'll be around to
yeah,
help out a little bit. for
the
certain
workers.
things, maybe for the programming side of it.
So you're still saying 12 is good enough, is what we're saying? That's
It
the
all depends
question.
if we have the workers and stuff to put that on and be there. If we're gonna do it, we've gotta do it properly and make sure that it's followed through, right? Unless we just put 12 and that's it, like,
Well, the most important part of implementation is the first couple of weeks of operation. That's when they start to get the groove, the new rules, and
So but the question is, whether you're saying the break is between 11 and 12, which maybe you get it wrong there, or if the break is
saying
between,
16, you want
that's
16.
it, or the break is between 16 and 17, which one is easier to track?
well, I know,
Like
like
you're
in
in
high school, if you're in high school at 14, they don't have to wear a helmet public skating. That I know for a fact. If kids are going from high school to the arena, they don't have to wear a helmet at public skating.
Where?
French River, the high school.
Okay, well, maybe they don't have a policy. I don't know.
Like-
Or maybe the school accepts the responsibility in a group event.
Yeah. And grade 8 is 13, 14? How old are they?
the whole school, and they come, everyone has to wear.
Are they
There's a
13 or
big-
14?
well,
Grade
13.
13 or
13.
14, depends.
depends
on-
if they held back.
Yeah.
So you're saying 14 would be a better number than 16?
14 better than 16. I wouldn't want to, I don't know. Kids are not going to wear their helmets at 16
Oh.
in public skating.
No, they don't have to public skate either.
No.
So what is
But-
your concept?
You want them to be on the ice, not, I don't know.
Well, 12 is young, but like Councilor LaChance said, if an 11-year-old goes on the ice, I'm just wondering, like with the arena attendant though, wouldn't he know most of these kids, like their ages? Like, you know, I mean, he's worked there for years, so he must know the kids in St. Charles.
There's a lot of new kids.
But now you're putting the liability on the worker.
On the
No, no,
worker,
but
that's
I'm just
just- I don't
saying-
want that.
No, but I'm just saying, like, okay, so if he's questioning, okay, how, you know, oh geez, how old you are,
But
and
the,
if they say, well, oh, I'm 11 going on 12, no, you gotta put a helmet on, if that's what they tell them, or if they tell anybody at the arena. So honestly, don't tell them about the policy, just say, hey, you know, how old are you? And if they say, oh, well, you know, I'm 11 going on 12, well, no, you gotta put a helmet on.
It's
So-
easy for the kids that play organized hockey there because he knows what group they play in, right? It's for when people come for the weekend or like.
so you're saying what, leave it at 12?
Well,
I want a number and then we move on.
well, if
The
we're gonna
how
second
and the
guess,
whatever-
bring it up to see,
The how doesn't really matter because right now we're having the same scenario between 12 and 13. So the how, okay, if we
I'm
have to
good with
work with
12.
that, we'll work with that later. But right now, what's the number that, as a responsible municipality, that we want? Is it
12.
between, is it 12? Is it 13? Or is it 16? What is the number that, as a group, we think it should? And then if we have to look at how to implement it, that's part B there. But because right now, we're having to do it anyhow, but whether it's done or not, that's something we have to look at.
I'm fine with 12.
12?
12.
12.
Okay, 12 it is. All right. What was the next question? There was 2 questions.
How to implement.
Well, no, there's other helmet policies further down for different activities.
No, but I had 2 questions.
How to
I think it
implement.
would have been how.
How to implement.
No,
Yeah.
the how is not there. Okay, Denise, back to you then. What else is needed in this?
It's just, for simplicity, is adopting the policy as it stands for other sports. There's no exemption for baseball. They have to wear a helmet. And we do have helmets in stocks, just like for hockey, for
Yeah.
anyone, well, if we have the size available, but like for
Okay.
12 and under, we do have loaner helmets. Soccer, there's no helmets required. And then concussion policy, it's just an expanded policy with a few extra forms, so.
All right. So for the policy, are you in agreement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm in agreement.
I think there should be clarification. So hockey programs, I'm trying to think what that's kind of, is that in reference to like shinny or something, or I'm just trying to think, like, so for there's hockey programs.
What page
and
is
then,
this?
92. And then there's baseball and softball. I'm trying to think if softball technically falls under, or if slow pitch technically falls under softball. Yeah, and I'm just thinking, so these are for municipal sports and recreation programs
So it would be
and
shitty.
that are organized and operated by the municipality of St. Charles. So this isn't like,
This is shinny.
yeah, and I'm just thinking for baseball and softball, this isn't impacting private
Not
and
at
stuff
all.
like that. I'm just thinking the CSA approved batting helmets shall be worn while batting, base running, and when required by the rules of play. If we're organizing any kind of sports like that, they'll be ran by the rules that govern that sport, I would say. But like for slow pitch, you have what is it?
Well, NSA, SPN, SPO.
Yeah, like you have all that, right? So I'm just wondering if
The CSA is manufacturing staff. So
CSA is
the standard
but that's not the
across
standard for
board.
when you wear it though. Like when you have your different organizations, they have standards for when you're supposed to be wearing it. I don't know if that's
Do you
maybe
want
a
to
bit
do
more
our
appropriate.
equivalent?
CSA is a manufacturing standard. It's not a. Follow
Doesn't tell you
this
No, it's
guideline
not.
when to wear it. Like,
No, but we're stipulating when to wear it in there, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We're just saying basically all the time. Yeah, but yeah, it's only for municipal ran programming. So I guess at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. I don't think municipality is going to be hosting their own sportsman tournament or anything anytime soon. So
Yeah. So you're in agreement with the?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I wanted them just, at first I was maybe in favor of changing that to like 16 and under or something, or like a certain age group, but, because it's only for municipal run programming, yeah.
Okay, Councillor Lachance? Okay, good. So, we're good with this one, Dennis? And we keep it at 12. All right, next one. Update on potential arena grants, prepared by Denis.
Yes, Your Worship. From the last meeting with the short, but I wouldn't call it a short notice, but it was a
Quick
3.5 weeks notice from start to end, with coming to council, getting support for a grant proposal. The Director of Operation did contact Chris Perry, that we know works with other municipalities, West Nipissing, Marks Day Warren, and French River. His firm is well aware of the style of arena. The Verna Arena is a similar build as this one. And the question, I did end up having a site visit with them at the arena. I did put forward the various options that were discussed at council. And I'm going backwards because I should have started with the grant, but anyways, I'll finish with this one. I did put all the proposals. He did look at the potential crossing from room to room in the back. His concern was that we did not have as-built drawings, so an engineer would have problems confirming the foundation if it could support a crosswalk, so you would have to look at that. The stairwell, the narrowing of the stairwell, whether it's required. He did note that stairwell did not exit to the outside, so it would not serve as an emergency exit because it just exits to another room. So he would have to
Inside.
The inside stairs?
The mezzanine.
The mezz stairs that goes down to the back.
Oh, okay.
They're not considered technically
Egress.
egress.
The ones that are choking that whole way down to being done.
Yeah, it's because he says it goes to another occupancy. Well, it's not going outside. So the stair at the end in the room going outside is a means of egress. So you would have to look at that. He looked at the hall and the back room, the flooring for supporting the equipment. As you can see is in his proposal, he broke it down into 3 items for the is fee design, pre-design phase. That's where we would probably end up looking at objective in what we are want him to do. And then the site assessment is what we had discussed at council prior to this grant, was basically the structural analysis, whether the walkway can be supported, whether the gym equipment or the library shelves. Quick note of, which I did put in the report, is the library shelves now are 5 feet or lower for accessibility standards. There's no second tier. So I can't remember the ones we have if they're over 5 feet high, but they're no longer accepted under the AODA rules. And then number 3, the concept design and the cost estimate is what is required for the grant. At the time of the meeting with Chris Perry, it was highly unlikely, if he had the time, to have this ready for the grant, because there was only a week and a half away and he had other commitments. As you heard, he was on the radio talking about another municipality's arena, which is urgent. Well, they've been 2 years in working, but anyways, he has other pressing project. He said it was highly unlikely that he would be able to make the timeline for this event.
July 9th.
Yeah. So yes, and then I did summarize point by point the meeting. Hopefully, I made it justice to to the meeting. If there's any questions to that, I can, I met June 25th. So that was basically 2 weeks prior to a bit more than 2 weeks. More interestingly, I did also meet earlier on that day with both representative from FedNor and NOHFC. So at that meeting, FedNor did confirm, which I have not seen advertised elsewhere, this program is funded for second year. This same grant will be available next year. I did ask her, can I apply for both? Can I apply for something this year? Usually it's if you apply and one and done, and unless you have something amazing that they want to fund, to share. She did confirm anything after July 9th would most likely not get funding as it would be exhausted. The construction must start 90 days after approval. They must have sufficient designs approved. This is what we're building, because one of their condition is the 90 days. So if you're doing an application, it has to be a complete application. It can't just be, we have this plan.
Yeah.
It has to be, here are the blueprints. So basically number 3 of Chris Perry, Mr. Perry's proposal there. So they said there will be more funding next year, that we fit within their funding criteria, and that she could easily see herself recommending this project as feasible. NOHFC is a bit different. There's continual intake, so we can apply tomorrow for NOHFC or 6 months from now. One thing that the NOHFC representative did say is that they had no more funds available for this year. Like, there's always funds, but they basically spent out their budget, and they were approving nothing else going forward. So until their next cycle, which is March 31st. So if we time this right, we can apply, have everything waiting for the next round when NOHF, FedNor opens back up. There's still the option of going NOHF, I can't even say it, Heritage Fund alone. It's like I can still apply tomorrow alone for the full 90% of the, let's say it's a 900,000, I can apply tomorrow. She also says she could easily set recommending that one. However, combining it with FedNor would almost ensure a favorable outcome. So it's never guaranteed, it's a better. So there's still an opportunity, if we look at it, to apply for NOHFC as a standalone, see if we get it, or we have to wait until FedNor opens up, or split the difference. Apply 90% for maybe the elevator and the hall after March 31st, because I've been told, and then see if that gets approved, and maybe use the 300,000 for something else, like an additional improvement. They both said combined, it just makes that one move to the top of the approval list. So there's a few things. The only thing that could not happen is submitting a July 9th would not have been successful, just for the simple fact, both of them together, we would have not got the NOHFC funding, we would have not met the 90-day construction. You would have applied FedNor, the decisions would have been somewhere around November, December of this year. And we would have to start before March 31st, and I can't even submit an application before April.
Yep.
Because they don't, but I can submit in March for April, and they usually take 3 months for approval. So unfortunately, there's still a few options. We're still going to, so tonight, the request from council, we did get a 15,000 in the budget for basically phase 1 and phase 2 of the Mr. Perry's, and it will also give a bit more time for council to discuss maybe options that come along, because the stairwell, he was pretty well stumped. of why the stairwell was there. It was probably most likely because of the thinking of the dressing room coming down to the main floor. I don't know, but I'm assuming that was the intent of the upstairs room, to use the mezzanine to go to the basement,
To the
main floor.
ice pad, yeah.
So I'm requesting that, I'm recommending that council approve the $29,200 proposal from Mr. Perry. At this point, I can also go for, since there's no rush, I think I did say I can get a second quote just to make sure we're within the same ballpark. Because all that's required for under 30,000 is 2 quotes.
Okay.
So I can definitely look at that, but we need to move on it, because even at this, and I told them applying for next year, it's just, that is reasonable, but you can't wait till winter to start this.
Okay.
Because it'll take a process. So so the recommendation is $29,200. If council wants a second proposal, I would definitely go out and get a similar quote from somebody else, and then maybe have, and then we'll still need funding, because I don't have the funding. So, because I only have 15,000 in the budget, and there is a recommendation that council approve. I think I use money from, as recommended by the Director of Finance, authorize the use of asset management plan reserve fund to finance the project costs exceeding 15,000 approved in the 2026 budget, and further that 2026 operating surplus, if any, be allocated to replenish the asset management plan and reserve fund in equal amounts. So the way it's written, any surplus of this year would go to replenish the money we take out of the reserve. And then again, the recommendation of 29,000. So if I think this was a blessing in disguise, because rushing it, we may have made a few mistakes, or maybe something that could have cost. Because looking at some options, as is main concern, is because we don't have the as-built, it may require a lot of, we can't do anything without engineering stamping something. And the more you use the engineers for supporting, it may put we may spend 900,000 with maybe 300,000 of that on an engineering study. We've seen it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right, so I think that I like to have everything ready beforehand, before we go to the grant process. I think that those are the ones that get approved as opposed to considered and denied. So I agree, it's a blessing in disguise that we didn't, that we're not gonna make that deadline, because we're gonna be at the next one ready, and with all of the good drawings and everything ready. Any concept or questions?
No, I'm also in agreement. I think it's vital to have all of this done prior. This is a big project, right? So
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with the, or I guess actually you could ask for, I'm curious to see if we could get another quote.
Yeah.
And
How long is it gonna take, you think?
I would have it for the August meeting. I'm sure, I'm hoping that it would be another consultant that does similar, that we can get at least a fair bid on it.
Okay. We could also maybe approve, if it's higher, then we go with this one that we've seen, or
I think
should
so.
we wait till the next meeting? Is it gonna be, because you said we can't delay too much,
So if council is in agreement, you can approve an upset limit pending that a second quote is received.
okay,
Yeah,
all right,
I'm in agreement with that.
okay. Councillor Loftus?
Yeah, I'd also like to see a second quote, but I'm in agreement that to go with the 29,500, and
As
if
the
it
upset.
comes in higher, he can just go ahead with Perry and Perry.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm in favor of that recommendation. Yep.
okay. Councillor Chance?
Yeah, that, the recommendation makes sense to me, and for the, going over the $15,000 budgeted, we're already saving 110 on the roof, the cost for the roofing, so like, I think we're still within, within our range here.
Uh-oh. What are we, she gonna, okay.
So just to clarify, the budgeted money for the roof is coming through the CCFB reserve. So it's not really savings on our budget. We're just taking less from the CCFB. And I also clarified that, yes, we could use the engineering firm fees for CCFB. However, if council decides in the future not to go with this project, those funds may be reverted. So that's why I recommended that we take it from our own reserve. Because if we decide, oh, no, it's going to cost us $10 million to do what we want, we're like, no, we're not going to do that. And we applied for that funding, they could take it back. So just to be safe, to take it from that. So just don't want, we're not saving 110,000 from our budget, but we can use it for other projects.
The money's not leaving, but it's not leaving different accounts.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Denny.
Sorry, I just had a,
Another point, yeah?
yeah, no, I just had a question. If the, like the, can CCSB? CCFB, can that be, like, I know you mentioned that they can take it back if we use the funds for the design of the project, but then we don't go forward with it. Like, what realistically would be the timeline for that? Because, I mean, honestly, if we're looking at implementing or creating a scope of what we want in the vision of it, but we need to wait for, obviously, for grant opportunities or external funding, like that could take years and years. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it amounts to the same thing, right? Like if they come back.
They don't really specify a time frame, but they said the likeliness of it coming back if you don't go ahead with it, because the point of that fund is to actually create things.
Yeah.
There is no time frame that if you don't do it within 5 years or anything. We do get audited every once in a while where they ask for specific things, and then that would be where they would potentially find it if, and they do follow up, because if so when we were doing Main Street or King Street, they would constantly follow up to make sure that we were doing it, because every year I was applying saying, oh, we're using it for engineering to be done eventually into a project, and then when it eventually became a project, they're like, okay.
Yeah. Good. That was good. Thanks.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Next item, what's happening?
Would you like to do the resolution?
Oh,
There
there's
isn't one there, but
Okay,
we spoke about one.
good point, good point. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Laframboise?
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Laframboise. Be it resolved that council directs staff to continue the preparation of a grant-ready concept and feasibility package for the proposed St. Charles Arena redevelopment project. And be it further resolved that council award architectural and engineering consulting services with an upset limit of $29,200 plus applicable taxes to complete the pre-design, site assessment, and concept design phases required to support future grant applications. And be it further resolved that council authorize the use of the asset management plan reserve fund to finance project costs exceeding the $15,000 approved in the 2026 budget. And further that the 2026 operating surplus, if any, be allocated to replenish the asset management plan reserve fund in an amount equal to the funds withdrawn.
Pretty complete, that one. All those in favor? Carried. All right, thank you. Item 454, report to council, social media presence. Denis, you're up again.
Yes, Your Worship. As we all know, I know the social media and our website is often come under finding information, relevant information, and timely information. And I know it's been brought up by council on like posting our current projects. So I rolled everything into one in discussion with staff and research online, because it's hard to speak to the times suggested to maintain because we're so small. It's hard to say how long does it take you to post. So this is from a summary from online research. It would have to be tried to validate, let's say if we pick option one in my report, whether it's actually a 2 to 4 hours per month. That is, I just want to put it out there that there's some unknown on this report. So in a sense, this report is trying to adopt a policy, a presence online, and at what level. Because if we pick, I don't know, the advanced level and engagement, it's basically a daily event. Because they have 15 to 25, there's 20 operating days. The assumption is you're on there at least an hour a day during business days. During the month, making sure that the posts are relevant, up to date. We push out the information that's going out today, and whether it's needed daily is a different thing. It could be every other day, so there could be some time moderating. And then we also have to consider how engaged we want to be. Do we want to leave the comments on a post? If we post that the roads are snow covered and declare snow emergency, should we have comments on that? It is a statement. It doesn't really require comment. And that's where some concern that we have is if you leave it if you increase your presence and you leave the comment section on, most people is reasonable in their comments. It says, okay, yeah, the roads are bad, stay home type of thing, but they might all say that, I don't know, where are they? I don't want to go in what they can imagine to say, and then you have to have somebody moderate the discussion and monitor this. So the recommendation, if we are looking at this, is maybe to take it slow to start off with. I know there should be some consideration on the quarterly reports to be reflected online on the projects. They won't be up to date. That's the unfortunate part, because every 3 months you get a quarterly update. But in that month, you may have done a couple of projects that are impactful to the community and may not make the website. Case in point, we can't even say that. We have a gazebo up, and it was up within a week. It's not on the website now. It should be, but it will be on the next quarterly report from Public Works in August. And that's when we would update on the website. Oh, by the way, we have a gazebo that's been up since late June. So I know in that sense, the quarterly is a bit of a stretch in terms of wanting information out there. So there is, I understand that part, because even that, we're not even advertising. I'm not sure if we did advertise the residents of St. Charles did it themselves. It's posted on, but still, it didn't come from us as saying, hey, if you want to come to the splash pad, you can sit in the shade now.
It was posted in West Nipissing for advertisement to put a structure at their splash pad. They put pictures of ours.
Did they?
Yeah, I think yesterday. They put pictures of ours. The deal is that we need one of these in West Nipissing, and we're going to fundraise for it.
And I know it did get to the St. Charles community page. I'm not quite sure on the Facebook. That's where I saw it, and people were grateful for it. It's not on our website. And I know that's one of the issues of we have capital projects, and we're the last one to promote it. I understand. What this is about is how much time we want to consider this, because the more you push those events, maybe we can look at maybe option one with the one-offs, like maybe we should take a picture and put a little post in the little red bar, beat the heat, come and sit in the shade, well, and play in the splash pad, but so again, if we are looking at that, any more involvement, we probably would have to come back and say who would end up being responsible. I know we're still waiting for an economic development officer funding. Maybe that could start it off. Once it's set up, maybe the hours of the time invested maintaining it may be less. Like I said, we don't have many things going on in St. Charles, well, except for this month. Apparently, everything is happening to St. Charles this month, all good things. But some yet to be announced that we can't say, but it is something that we have to be proud of, and how to promote civic engagement is saying what we do to benefit the community. So it's finding a balance. And to that, I did add a social media policy, because currently there's no real structure of posting who does what exercise. Currently, we do have most everything going to the website to two individuals, being the clerk and the administrative clerk. So if you want something on the website, it's between those two staff. And the more risky, the more that we have to be careful is the social media Facebook, and that is the clerk that is currently posting. The main issue brought up by the clerk is if you put something online, we have to monitor any comments to it. Because if you put anything and it stays on the municipal website, it doesn't look good. Unfortunately, I lived the experience about 4 years ago, where I had to take our Facebook page offline. I had to, unfortunately, delete it. I had to. There was no options. Now we have a better setup that we can actually edit, but if we don't, and this was brought to me by a member of the public, so it's not the way you want to find out something is posted. So, because sometimes people are mean online, so we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, sometimes they're nice. Like the comments for the gazebo were all yay. It was not on our Facebook site, but that being said, moving forward, there's a policy here. I tried to divvy up. I know there were some omissions. Like if we are adopting something like this, I know I missed the Service Ontario closure. It was brought up that it should be a very specific one to anything affecting the office, even the municipal side, closure or temporary. It should also be a mandatory, something that must be posted or is recommended to be a part of the is responsible for. So that's where the clerk is responsible for media, public notice, council decision. But in there, I would also add a interruption of services of the office. We do have interruption of services for like the arena and everything else in terms of like facility closures, if it's closed to a winter storm or a safety notice. Also, comment was brought up on there was a section where there was water. My intention was boil water notice, but I think in the original document that I helped me create this one, it was talking about drinking water for housing. We don't have that, but I left it in there. But I will say drinking water advisory for municipal buildings, just a thing. And then there's a prohibition of what we don't accept or consider online. And again, there's an expectation of, unfortunately, we do see some posts that are, again, it's all about control. We can control our employees, we cannot control the public. So an employee is anyone basically receiving money from the municipality of St. Charles in whatever form. If it's a contractor, council may choose not to work with a contractor in the future. If it's a volunteer, they may not choose to be accepted as a volunteer. If it's a board, it may have, the board members may have questions. If it's a staff, well then there's repercussions. Again, we can't control, we are not in a position to control what they post on their own personal views, but we should be, at least, if there's an issue, should be dealt internally and not on social media. So the recommendation is once we have an understanding of what presence we want online, then we can move towards an adoption of this policy with, like I said, I mentioned a few amendments there, and work towards improving the content, but without creating such a demand on staff that we start after sacrificing other duties. It is important. Like, I do recognize that we do have a gazebo built, beautiful. We just didn't wave the flag.
Yeah, I think that's something that was overdue to have the policy to control. And after I noticed the one portion where it stated maybe consider preventing public posting on our website, I did do a research on other municipalities, and it's becoming more and more prevalent that the municipalities, it's outgoing only. They do not accept comments coming back in.
Yeah, close the comments.
So by closing that comment section, it would alleviate that maintenance problem that where you're learning of something from public that, oh, this comment's been posted on your site. And because like you stated, it's not just putting it out, it's after that you have to monitor everything coming in, and that can take quite a bit of time, many hours. So by eliminating that posting, I think it would help, first of all, eliminate any of the potential problems, and also alleviate man hours that might be used to go take a picture and
Yeah,
maybe.
they could just shot the post and shoot it down on the community page instead.
But then that's a community page's problem.
I was gonna say, I believe if they share it to the community page, that they can comment on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes. the
Yeah,
same.
they can comment
Yeah.
there,
Yeah,
but that, it's not the municipal one,
Mhm.
which is different. If it's
Yeah.
on the municipal, we are responsible for the maintenance, we are responsible for,
Yeah.
and
We're not admit on the community page.
Exactly.
Entertainment.
And as far as the, which level, I think, of reporting, I think we started small, we get it going, and after that, if we have that extra staff coming in, maybe that's the point in time where we step it up. Anyhow, what is your option, your comments?
Can they comment on the municipal website? They can, eh? Or they can?
If public?
Yes, yeah.
website or page?
The website,
The-
the
On the-
municipal website itself.
On the website,
No,
No, they can't.
no,
No.
just on,
Just on the social.
just on Facebook.
And that's just, I find we have too many of like we have the municipal website, we have the Facebook, and then we have the digital. That's a lot of time spent, right, and repeating ourselves, so I think we need to concentrate on one and just use the one. Like, I love the digital, but I think, I don't know, it's like, do we look at the municipal website itself, or do we look at the Facebook itself? Like,
I think Facebook is, whether we like it or not, is
It's the main-
it's a main, like, we want to get the news out, and that's the best.
And it
Because
does get
not,
heard.
people are not gonna go on our website, they're gonna go on the website to say, okay, what hours are the,
I find the website is hard to
But
find
if
stuff.
you make, sorry for jumping,
That's okay.
if you make the release or whatever, the publication on the website, you can just share it to the Facebook
Yes.
page, and you don't have to, you literally just
I could
press the share
find
button.
when you do the
right?
road, like, director of operate, like when you post or whoever's posting, I find it's like, it's easy, you see it, you can share it. But.
But you don't have to remake it on
The-
every platform.
the
Road notices.
social?
Road notices, yeah, on Facebook,
Okay, Facebook, yeah,
yeah. Fine.
okay.
I'm just, I like the Facebook, but it's like, are we like not, should we be using the municipal website also? You know what I mean? But that's like, you're looking at like,
If we want to get notices out, I think
right away, if Facebook would be.
Facebook is the one, and that's why I think we have to keep using it, but having to monitor all of the responses
Well, I
coming
think the
back in.
comments should be closed, that's
Yeah.
automatically. You can, yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't, you can take a screenshot, I was gonna say you can't share.
So, through your worship,
Yes.
Just to note that when we did develop the new website, which has its bugs and I'm not overly keen on it.
The municipal one?
Yes, when we did develop that, the web developer made the recommendation to council at that time that Facebook commenting should not be turned off because it speaks to accountability and transparency. But that was all that
But-
was said then. That was
Yeah.
the previous council.
And maybe that was a concept before, but right now I did the research and there are several, like Guelph doesn't have, there's, I think Nipissing also, they don't have it. So the social media is outgoing only. As far as any more comments, you're good?
No, yeah. I would prefer comments off.
Yeah. How about yourself, Councillor Loftus?
Yeah, I like the option one, just the basic
To start.
information to start.
Okay.
And comments off too, also, I don't think that we should be monitoring the comments.
Yeah. Councillor Pati? I know this speaks a bit to your resolution later on there, so, but,
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, without having somebody, kind of dedicated to this, it becomes difficult, but, cause I think we should probably be anywhere from option 2 to 3, technically. I mean, we have a municipal logo competition that I don't think has yet to see any kind of social media presence or municipal website presence. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we
There are
question,
things that we have to do better. I
we
agree.
question why we don't have any entrance into that contest, but I'm in favor of basically option 2 or 3. I think like it's important to get it out there. The comments, I mean, honestly, I guess it becomes one of those things that you're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
So, I'm kind of okay either way because at the end of the day, it can be shared and commented upon regardless.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I don't know. I'm okay either way for the commenting part. But yeah, I'm in favor of going with option 2 or 3. As far as it goes for the policy, I was just trying to understand where council kind of sits in there. I guess because it speaks to council or authorized municipal accounts, right? So that's what I'm trying to understand in this is the policy applies to all. So on page 121, the policy applies to all the people identified here, but are we expecting those people to be creating municipal social media accounts, or is this trying to govern personal accounts? That's just what I'm trying to understand here, right? Because we're identifying a bunch of different people, but then we're saying,
They don't have access.
well, it's only for authorized, this policy applies to authorized municipal social media accounts, yeah. So I just wanna make sure that we're not like we're clear on that,
Yeah.
like which one we're trying to go for.
Can you clarify on that one?
So the way I see this is anyone's personal expression online is not controlled by the municipality. You go online, the splash pad is too wet for me. That's a perfectly acceptable online quote. But you can't go on, Sarah, it's on behalf of council. We believe that water is dry enough that you can enjoy it. I'm sorry, I'm being some ridiculous here, but it is, you can't, and that's the statement here. You can't say the municipality of St. Charles, we are going to enforce, I don't know, the speeding on the roads starting Monday. That would be an official expression of the municipality, not a personal view. If you want to say, yeah, I do believe that I can go fast on the road, that's a personal expression. because it's I, it's not we. So if it's not clear, because I do know I cannot impose, we cannot impose on the personal views. Somebody can post online, it's a right. But on behalf of the municipality, we are a group, the decision is decided as a group.
So if they are expressing comments as a group or a group of, within the municipality, that's where
It's an official channel.
it becomes official because they're expressing it as the official we.
But-
Whether it's on a private or,
If someone says, what does council have to say about this on a post, and you decide that you're feeling like answering it that day, and you say, I don't know about council, but myself, Mayor Buccaneer, think that this is a great idea, or whatever, right?
That's a
So,
personal
Drier
thing.
water.
For
Yeah.
example, you just
But the-
disassociating yourself from the municipality while still
Yeah.
being representative, right?
but I'm just wanting to make clear that if somebody uses the official we on a private, there, is that one where,
For
That's where
council,
10.
that's integrity commissioner, and council can regulate itself. If it's a staff, then there's ways to reprimand staff.
okay,
And-
all right.
and-
So I think that's where you were coming from.
Yeah,
right?
and then that's where section 10, which is on page 126, kind of comes into play, disparaging or disrespectful comments. And I just wanted to, because the original list, it doesn't, like, does that really capture council? Does council fall under municipal employee or members of committees and boards established by council? That's where I just,
Do you get a paycheck from the municipality?
well, that's what I'm kind of,
You want another bullet that says,
well, are we capturing council in this,
Or you're
or?
a municipal employee?
I'm
You're
Yeah.
elected by the, you're
Of-
elected by the
yeah.
public to be an
Yeah.
employee of the municipality to, a representative, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe you put employee/representative in the municipality. Does that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense.
And that's it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for bringing this forward. It's, yeah.
Councillor
I
Lachance.
think we start option one, just to get the ball rolling, and if there's something important, like again, the splash pad, the gazebo there, if we were to say, okay, we're gonna take not an official grand opening party or something, but if you did a grand opening for it or something like that, you just add that one in as a one-off.
Yeah.
Something that has significance or very big importance. Or if there's a washout on the road, obviously, that's indicated to public works, but.
But then we have more people that have the opportunity to post, is that correct?
Correct, and they have their what they
Their
can post,
section.
and if the comments are turned off, it removes the burden on the clerk of monitoring everything. And I was gonna say, in terms of, the clerk is responsible for, under media releases or public notices, maybe I can put brackets and put new facilities or major news item worthy of the municipality of St. Charles, but we have to put limitations because we can't say, yay, we finished our landfill, yay, we graded the road. But yes, we have something significant of the splash, of the gazebo, and I'm looking at the post and it's like, yeah, we missed the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Somebody caught it, but fine, we should be there. But maybe in the media release, maybe we'll have an expectation of like the one-offs. They're not that common.
No,
And
but
I
it would be nice.
I know like we opened the soft opened the boat launch, but we're going to be upgrading the launch soon, I think the first week of August. Once it's upgraded, maybe we can start saying new and upgraded, because we know it's deficient, but not deficient, it's a bit steep.
Yeah.
But it's planned to be fixed, we have to wait for permits, so.
Can we add option one, like you mentioned, municipal closures? Can we put that for?
Yes, yeah, that was, so when it comes back to council for adoption consideration at the August 12th meeting, we will have the
Okay,
office closure, Service Ontario.
all right. Thank you very much. Next, we're at item 5, which is the consent agenda. Any items that council wants to have pulled? Councillor Lachance?
Just wanted to thank the treasurer for answering the questions I had first, via email. There's one that I'd sent out to just regarding the prices for the engineering costs on report for information at lift station generator replacement. I went through it quick, and I think that the price for the engineering is flat out ridiculous for that. If you compare it, it's costing less to have the engineer report and blueprints drawn up for project at the arena than just changing out a 30 kVA generator and a couple of conduits and one transfer switch. So it's just, to me, I think it's ridiculous. I know I sent the email, and I just wanted it to be known that I think something.
Yeah, I
has to be
think
done.
it involves a bit more, can you
In 2022, the municipality, we went from a application base to change the system to a CLI ECA model where any changes, core changes to the infrastructure requires an engineered stamp drawing. So part of the backup generator, so we don't have drawings, electrical drawings, so they have to draw the electrical of the entire lift station. So it's not just swapping out the generator and the switch panel, they have to do the entire drawing. I'm not an engineer, I find it ridiculous, but not ridiculous, I find it expensive. But my understanding is that we have to have a stamped engineering drawing to actually swap out the generator. I asked if it's same for same. It's a change, it's a major change, and we require the stamp drawing. That's the unfortunate part, and I as explained, and unfortunately Aqua's limit was 30,000, it was over their limit. If it would have been under 30,000, it would have been through their vendor of record, and it would have been an invoice from Aqua.
Yeah. So it's the fact that we don't have those drawings anywhere. So they're having to recreate that.
Anything original is from 1982-ish.
It's been subject to change after that. Okay. Does that help? I know it is expensive, however.
Well, it doesn't make sense at all, in my opinion, but it should be 10% of the cost of the project, which is $9,000. Should be $9,000 for the engineer, give or take, maybe double, or in the worst case, Ontario, not 10 times. 10%, so just, it's expensive. So
Okay.
and I wish that, because this was pressed for time, and I understand it came in for information because it was dealt with, I'm just expressing that I wish it could have been done differently because I'm in favor.
Anything to add?
I still have to address it with Aqua, and this was given way early to Aqua, and for a week prior to the expiry date to get this on the desk. I did ask, can I go out to tender? He says, with a week, well, it was like 10 days at that time, so it's impossible. By the time we drop to tender, your 10 days is up. And you have to have at least a week or so. And so there was a lapse of time where it bounced between the engineer and Aqua and did not move. And myself and the director of operations were in anticipation that Aqua was moving forward with this, and to get it on the, I think it was the 22nd of June, and to have it mandatory awarded and project started on June 30th was very tight.
Can we send them a note, or?
We will have to be in-person conversation of this, because I think they were also set aback because with the price, because if they would have known it was over their vendor record of their limit is 30,000, is they would have most likely acted faster. But it will, we will voice our disappointment and disapproval of the short list.
No
It's just the way it was
labor included or
handled.
nothing there, like it just flat out for the engineering is $33,000. Yes, this isn't a supply and install, this is $33,000 for the engineering.
And support,
And the project management.
project management,
Yeah.
tendering phase, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was just gonna speak to.
Is there anything you want to,
No, I was just gonna speak to the engineering costs, cause I work with engineering costs quite a bit.
should we?
Should we pull this, or?
Should we pull this before discussion? Let's pull it before
Discussion's already
discussion.
happened.
Yeah. A And that way we can deal with it.
Item is that?
Okay?
Well, it was more of just a comment, but,
Yeah, but
yeah.
we have to, if
We've
we
had-
want,
we've
if
had
we want to
discussion
discuss,
already.
we have to pull, then we discuss or comment.
Sorry.
Or else the procedure is sort of. Okay?
Yeah, is there anything else?
Mover, anything else? No?
No, I think it's just the one.
Okay, mover and a seconder. Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles approves the items of the consent agenda under sections 5.1 and 5.7, and be it further resolved that Council receives the items of the consent agenda under sections 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6, except item 5.5.1, which Council directs be pulled for discussion.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, now I don't know if you're gonna be able to insert some of the Councillor Lachance's, and
Yeah.
what is your,
I was just gonna speak to, like, I don't know if you ever worked with Ionic.
Ionic, like,
Yeah.
nice, which one?
Ionic Mechatronics, but we work with them on a regular basis, like Epiroc, and we routinely get quotes anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 simply for documentation, for taking a diagram that we redlined, and they get the CAD file, and all they do is make our little modifications, and it's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. And so I can understand the cost a little bit of this, because they're, from the looks of it, they're doing, well, the one is kind of ridiculous, Electrical Legend for $1,500, but single line diagram, site plan, like they're doing a little bit more than just a single diagram, but there's also the tendering phase and the construction services, which we kind of got hit with extras with those when we went to EXP, I believe, after the fact. We weren't aware of those costs. So here, I think we're just kind of getting the overall picture. The slightly expensive phase is probably part 2, but I mean, at the end of the day, $3,000 to $5,000 for a single set of diagrams, I kind of see it routinely. So I don't think it's
okay,
too.
so,
You're just for manufacturing, not for construction, there's a big difference.
Yeah, well, it's still only
Oh,
like,
is there-
some of them are
Okay.
still only 2 to 3
Yeah.
sheets. So
And-
it's like, yeah.
yeah, all right, so, any more comments, or, no?
No, that was really it. It was just,
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I don't know if, what will be noted, but we're going in. Okay, next item. Okay, we're at item 7, which is the bylaws. First and second reading of the bylaws, mover and a seconder. Councillor Laframboise, Councillor Potier?
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Potier. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives first and second reading to the following bylaws. Bylaw 2026-35 being a bylaw to adopt an emergency management program and emergency response plan to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act. Bylaw 2026-36 being a bylaw to authorize the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, bracket OILC, for financing of certain capital works of the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles, bracket the municipality, to authorize temporary borrowing from OILC to meet expenditures in connection with such capital works, and to authorize long-term borrowing for such capital works through the issue of debentures to OILC. Next, bylaw 2026-37, being a bylaw to authorize the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, bracket OILC, for financing of certain capital works of the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles, bracket the municipality, and to authorize long-term borrowing for such capital works through the issue of debentures to OILC. Next, bylaw 2026-38, a bylaw to authorize the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands OILC for financing of certain capital works of the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles, the municipality, and to authorize long-term borrowing for such capital works through the issue of debentures to OILC. Next, bylaw 2026-39, being a bylaw to appoint a building inspector for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles. Next, bylaw 2026-40, being a bylaw to authorize delegated authority during the restricted act period of council during the 2026 municipal election. Bylaw 2026-41, being a bylaw to enter into an amending agreement with His Majesty the King and Right of Ontario as represented by the Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery and Procurement. Next, bylaw 2026-42, being a bylaw respecting construction, demolition, and change of use permits and inspections. Next, bylaw 2026-43, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Le Conseil Scolaire Catholique de Nouvelle-Ontario. And next, bylaw 2026-44, being a bylaw to enter into a consulting services agreement with RSM Building Consultants, Inc.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, before the third and final reading, are there any comments that somebody's gonna wanna make on any of these? No? Okay, we'll just go through them. I need a mover and a seconder, third and final reading of bylaw 2026-35. Councillor Poitier, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Poitier and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-35.
All those in favor? Carried. I need a mover and a seconder for third and final reading of bylaw 2026-36. Councillor Laframboise, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-36.
All those in favor? Carried. Third and final reading of bylaw 2026-37, mover and a seconder. Councillor Poitier, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Poitier and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-37.
All those in favor? Carried. Third and final reading of bylaw 2026-38, mover and a seconder. Councillor Poitier, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Poitier and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-38.
All those in favor? Carried. Mover and a seconder for third and final reading of bylaw 2026-39. Councillor Laframboise, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-39.
All those in favor? Carried. Mover and a seconder, third and final reading of bylaw 2026-40. Councillor Poitier, Councillor Laframboise.
Moved by Councillor Poitier and seconded by Councillor Laframboise, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-40.
All those in favor? Carried. Mover and a seconder, third and final reading of bylaw 2026-41. Councillor Lachance, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Lachance and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-41.
All those in favor? Carried. Third and final reading of bylaw 2026-42. Councillor Loftus, Councillor Poitier.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Pelletier. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-42.
All those in favor? Carried. Now, third and final reading of bylaw 2026-43. Councillor Laframboise, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-43.
All those in favor? Carried. Third and final reading of bylaw 2026-44. Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-44.
All those in favor? Carried. All right, item 8.1. First reading of a motion by Councillor Lachance, creation of a board of to govern the Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services.
Okay, so we have a notice of motion from Councillor Lachance. Subject creation of board to govern the Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services, to which notice of motion to read as follows. Whereas Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services serves the residents of 4 member municipalities, being the municipalities of French River, Killarney, Marks-Day, Warren, and St. Charles. And whereas the day-to-day operations of Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services are funded through apportionment to the member municipalities and through fees charged to ratepayers for services provided. And whereas the member municipalities have limited involvement in the operational oversight and fiscal planning of Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services. And whereas municipal councils have a responsibility to advocate for transparency, accountability, and fiscal responsibility in the delivery of services funded by taxpayers and ratepayers. And whereas no single service provider should have sole discretion over how taxpayer and ratepayer funded dollars are allocated and spent without appropriate municipal oversight. And whereas having councillors from each member municipality sit as members of a governing board for Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services would provide greater representation, improve accountability, and help ensure that services are responsive to the needs of each member municipality and the broader Sudbury East service area. And whereas regular reports and recommendations from such a board would assist councils in reviewing and addressing matters related to Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services in a more consistent and streamlined manner. Now therefore be it resolved that council directs staff to circulate this resolution to the municipalities of French River, Killarney, and Marks-Day, Warren for their consideration and support in the creation of a governing board for Sudbury East Building and Bylaw Services. And be it further resolved that council requests that the member municipalities work collaboratively to review and develop a proposed governance structure, terms of reference, and reporting process for the proposed board with representation from each member municipality.
All right, thank you. Next item, 8.2, motion by Councillor Laframboise regarding yard waste and tipping fees.
We need a second.
Okay, so that one was moved by Councillor Laframboise. We need a seconder. Councillor Lachance.
So moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Whereas bylaw 2026-23 waste management bylaw was adopted on April 15, 2026, and whereas leaves, pine needles, grass clipping, and brush were not explicitly exempt from tipping fees, be it therefore resolved that Schedule C be amended as follows. Addition of the following under construction, bulky and demolition waste.
Bulk.
Star unlimited collection.
Oh, is it bulky? Bulky? Is it bulky?
Bulky. Did I write it wrong?
Is it supposed to be bulky?
Yeah. Bulky and demolition waste, so, unlimited collection of grass clippings, leaves, pine needles, twigs, and branches, no charge.
So it's the demolition waste as well as, all right. At this time,
No,
Just the star, like after the asterisk is the change, right?
yes.
Right.
So unlimited collection of grass clippings, leaves, pine needles, and twigs and branches at no charge.
okay, that's the only real,
That's the.
Yeah.
that's the one, okay. All right. So, is there a reason, just asking Dennis, that this was not included, or is it because we have the 2 free days that people can use to get rid of yard waste and clippings?
We had it prior,
We had
but we
it,
took it out.
So historically, we've been dumping the yard waste into a pile. When I say historically, we used to actually burn it on site.
yeah, I remember that.
But new environmental regulations, we cannot actually set a fire at the landfill anymore. So it's prohibited activity, and if you do, you have to monitor 24/7 until it's completely out. So there's no option to burn. And I think, and I am pretty sure that we've been accumulated the waste until maybe the director.
Yes, Michelle.
Okay, so it wasn't explicitly defined in the top portion under the definitions where it should have been, but pine needles and leaves, they're compostable and they're not to have a fee. The branches itself was intended to have one, because people are clearing their lots, attached to stumps or, trailer full and trailer full, and bringing them into, and we're grinding them. So there's a cost associated, just like if they were to bring bulk waste or garbage bags, they would have to use a tipping day, a free day, or they would pay a fee for it. It's because it offsets the cost of the space that is used at the landfill. It is council's decision on bylaw, but the branches were coming in excess from people clearing their lots. So that's where it came in, that we were offsetting that cost operationally for an item that could have a tipping fee associated with it.
Okay. Also historically, what we have to remember is that there were, yes, 2 free days, but everybody had the same day. And if we want to go back historically, I think that could be another change, and that could help maybe save on the amount of, because when everybody's lined up from the beginning of Beauparlin Road all the way up to they're only gonna get 1 dump trailer in on that day. Where now, everybody has 2 full days that they can haul stuff. So if somebody's clearing a lot, they can clear that lot. They just stack it up and bring it for a full day.
So they still do have a limit on those days.
What is the
So they
limit?
have 2
load
days
now,
or, yeah,
Is it 2 loads per day?
2, I believe it is 2 loads.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good.
Yeah, so a
Not
truck and
an
a trailer is
empty
2
lot,
loads,
though.
right?
Didn't they take the empty lot away?
Yes, so it's not a vacant land.
Vacant
It's
land.
your
It's gotta be-
If you have a building permit, so if you're, then yes, you have that, because you are then, making waste.
Okay, just a minute. So now we're gonna go around.
So the reason why I'm bringing this up is prior, we had free, the branches were free to bring to the dump. After we imposed this, I received a lot of phone calls and complaints about it. That's why I brought it forward. I do believe by not, and I've seen it, not letting people bring their branches free of charge to the landfill, we're creating issues of people dumping on the side of the road. I've seen it. There is some already doing that. We want people to beautify their residence and clean up their residence and make sure that everything is clean. I don't believe that bringing branches, I'd rather see branches being brought to the landfill and being chipped than material things, because then that's where you're looking at more costly, being that I'm assuming the workers have to take out like if you're bringing wooden materials and stuff, you have to take out any steel or components before using the chipper, right? So being that branches, it's clean, it's it's easy, it's a lot easier to maneuver than, wooden material. That's why I think branches should stay free of charge. It also, being that, it also helps, like, if you're putting, like, leaving branches everywhere or whatever on residents, it also causes, like, fire safety, right? That could cause other issues if people are piling up branches and stuff. Yeah, and just the logical, to encourage the disposable of clean material, like, you want people to go be able to bring, like you mentioned, the pine needles, okay, it's part of the definition, but you want to encourage people to bring their stuff for beautifying their residence, but we're also, in the budget, we also have, I think it's 10,000 in the budget for the chipper. I don't see how the tipping fees can amount to saving costs. Like, we keep on bringing our taxes up and stuff, and that was a big thing. People are not complaining about bringing materials and construction stuff, but they saw, being that we're charging for branches, it's a big thing for them as residents. So I think just the fact that our taxes are going up, why are we, and it's in the budget to have a budget for the chipper, why are we adding another fee for especially branches? I don't get it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was when the burning stopped, that's when it became an issue. But we'll keep going. Councillor Loftus.
No, I have no issue with it. Like, I mean, if somebody has a big enough property, you can put branches in the bush in your property. Like, some people, even when they're cleaning the yard, you can put the yard clippings in that. You can put that in your bush, not across the road, you know, or
Well,
whatever.
some people are doing it, right?
Well, like, I mean, but,
What's the big deal of bringing it to the,
I know, but if you
The
have
market.
50 acres, you could put it in the back.
but some
of your
people
bush.
don't. Some people live near the lake and stuff, and they have no choice to
Yeah.
bring the branches. I'm not talking
Okay.
about stumps.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about
let she
branches.
give her a chance to
Yeah,
explain.
but anyways, like, I mean, I have no qualms in foregoing the fee on it, so. bring
Yeah,
it.
you're okay with
Oh, yeah,
bringing
you can
branches?
Bring the branches if they want.
With a limitation or unlimited?
Well, I mean, you can't, I mean, the property on Sugar to Fist Lane, when we had a storm, all the trees came down and they ended up in, not on my property, but on the other. He brought them to the dump, but they weren't huge, but they were a fair size, and he loaded his trailer. But I mean, it happens that, I'm not saying stumps, but I mean, if trees fall on a property from somebody else's property, who should be responsible for that?
I don't know. Where did they bring the stumps?
The stumps are still in the ground.
Oh, okay. I push them down anyhow.
Yeah.
Councillor Potsi.
Yeah, I think leaving it to like twigs and branches, the only thing I was curious was about what was said about the chipper. I'm trying to think, for some reason I thought we were also chipping construction materials
We
in
are.
the same chipper? Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter if it has nails or anything in it.
They have a big magnet that pulls them.
Oh, yeah, okay. Excessive. Nobody walk around with a pacemaker. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't think, the branches is a big deal, but maybe we should limit it to, like, limited or, like, logs are not part of this, like,
Exactly.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
twigs and
that's all.
branches.
I think it's as simple as that.
So stipulate twigs and branches?
Yeah, yeah. If
Up
we,
to a diameter of,
Yeah.
well, do we need to add, do we? need to-
because like if somebody, there could be a tree that's about this big that,
Definition of a branch is half the size of a trunk. So if you got a 14-inch trunk, it's a 7-inch branch, so branch by definition.
so, because I've got trees, the branches are about this big. Is that a branch or is that? No, but for real, like, I think we should, instead of saying tree.
Yeah,
Give a size diameter, and if it's bigger than that size,
no larger than 6 inches in diameter. Or 4 inches in diameter. 6 inches, there you go.
so you're saying 6 inches, that's a branch. Okay,
I agree with limiting the size, but I don't know how you if there's one in the trailer, there's one that's,
Well, maybe with the
size,
in there
just say,
and-
no, get rid of it. It's more policing, like, I don't disagree with twigs being on there, branches, like I said, definition of a branch, I pulled that up just because I was curious. It's literally a 1-to-2 ratio, so 50% or less of the size of the trunk of the tree.
Tree this big.
Okay, so
So
Yeah.
it's-
twigs, leave it at twigs?
Or you have to put a diameter in or a size for a branch, like.
It's just, it's, the enforcing part is, just like we were talking a little earlier, the enforcing, okay, we can look at all sorts of problems about it, but we have to get the limit.
Yeah, so that's hard to decipher of what the trunk is, and they're only bringing the branches in, and you see a full-size tree.
So you have to say nothing
Yeah,
bigger than
it's
this.
kind of a gray area here of what we're looking at. Like if there was to, like, if we're talking to the attendant and they come in with like a couple armfuls of branches, like picking up in their front yard, they're not gonna charge them for that you can tell, like, but you're clearing an area and you're bringing a trailer full of brush.
So they were able to do this prior of this year, what did they do?
They
Like,
burnt it,
but they were accepting anything?
they were, yeah, into the pile.
Any wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logs and all.
Like, I understand where the concern is there, that someone's just trying to clean up their yard and then, but we have
think
to,
it-
I think we need to define if that council chooses that they want to have it as no charge for twigs and branches, maybe we need to have a better definition
Yeah.
within the body of.
Oh, agree.
Of what branches.
Yeah.
6 inches or less than that, or?
And if it's more than 6 inches, you refer them to the fire department for a burning permit.
Bring them to my house.
So can we leave it with you to come up with something that makes sense for you? And that would-
Something back to council as a definition.
So it's just a definition that we'd need, what is, what,
Added.
What-
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you see as being an acceptable diameter of a branch? Yeah,
when the
about-
windstorm and
about-
stuff, like-
Yeah,
When people had the windstorm, like, you could tell if somebody is bringing branching because they had a
Yeah.
windstorm versus
Yeah.
someone that's clearing, again, that's at discretion.
That's
You have to put
really
in there
good.
at discretion of the attendant, that is not your brush as a cause of a construction project, you know, it'd be brush based off of, you know.
yeah, but that, the discretion, he can always, first we set up the guideline and then he can add a discretion if he feels it's, so we're saying about this, so about 4 inches?
Yeah, I would like to work on the definition and bring it back to council for that
Okay.
consideration.
All right,
It says
thank
twigs
you
up
very
to
much.
half an inch.
About 3 inch.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay,
Twigs half an inch and small
So-
branches 2 inches. And then often 4 to 6 feet or less.
Yeah, you could put small branches.
okay, we'll let
Branches.
Michelle work on that and she'll come back.
It's a motion, though.
It's a motion,
Yes.
so, but
You have to amend the motion, or.
Can we,
Or we can, you can
We can pass it and,
not pass it and
yeah.
let her come with
Yeah,
a
we
recommendation
defeat
with
it,
a
you mean.
new, we
Yeah.
can make a new motion.
okay, all right. So
We
then,
can defeat it
Yeah.
or defer it.
well, it's gonna be a new motion, is, yeah, so if
Didn't
we
vote on the
defeat it,
last
then,
one, so I vote on this one, right?
so all those in, let's vote on it, all
But
those in
If we're
favor?
redoing a motion, do we have to go through the steps again?
No, she's gonna
No.
be,
No, just a one.
You've deferred
Yeah,
to
yeah,
her
okay.
to
Yeah,
We still
come
haven't
back.
voted on the
Yeah.
last motion, so.
all right, so all those in favor? Okay, defeated. All right, next item. All
Mine.
right. Okay, 8.3, now we're at motion by Councillor Potier.
You don't, sorry. Councillor Lachance has a question.
The previous motion, we're not voting on tonight?
We were voting, we voted.
The creation of the board to govern?
The previous motion?
So
No.
it gets a first reading only,
Only the first
and then it gets at the next meeting,
Debate.
a debate.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you.
all right. So now, motion item 4.3, motion by Councillor Potier, ongoing project. So the mover was Councillor Potier. We would need a seconder if we're going to discuss it. Councillor Lachance would be the seconder.
Moved by Councillor Potier and seconded by Councillor Lachance. That the corporation of the municipality of St. Charles be responsible for creating and maintaining a past, ongoing, and future projects web page on the municipal website. And that the web page contain all publicly available documents, reports, studies, financial summaries, grant information, and references to council and committee agendas relating to such projects. And that the web page be updated on at least a quarterly basis to ensure information remains current and accessible to the public. And that the web page apply to, but not be limited to, capital projects, infrastructure projects, municipal studies, planning initiatives, environmental initiatives, and other significant municipal undertakings, and that all projects that remain ongoing or that have been completed within the previous 2 years be included on the webpage, and that completed projects remain publicly accessible on the municipal website for a minimum period of 7 years following project completion, and that any information deemed confidential, restricted by legislation, solicitor-client privilege, closed session provisions, privacy legislation, procurement restrictions, or other applicable legal exemptions be excluded from public posting as determined by the municipality.
All right. It's on the table. This essentially was discussed earlier during a previous item, where we opted to go with option 1. So is there anybody that wants to, and I think it replaces this one, in my view. But any comments to that effect, Councillor? No? Oh, sorry. You are the mover, Councillor Potier.
I actually was going to make a motion to amend that to kind of lighten it a little bit, take off, make it a little bit more easy to follow, and many of the stipulations were kind of changed to as determined by administration, because then that can kind of be, direction can kind of be given to the administration to follow up on that. I don't know if I had drafted it up, and I can just send it to yourself, Tammy, if you'd like. I don't know if do I need to make a new motion, or should we just make a motion to amend this?
Because you make the new motion, you have to wait 2 months.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I'd much rather just amend it, and we can discuss the amendment, I guess, because we're basically, I know the last time it was going to be a lot to manage, and kind of applying all the different criterias, all the different agendas and everything, but leaving it was very restrictive, right? It was very demanding, but now it's more as determined by administration. So it's
But it just,
Yeah.
we sort of already opted for an option.
not the same as this though. That's for public posting.
Yeah,
That's for
social media?
This isn't social media. This is a ongoing projects page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
I had pulled up a couple examples. There was where did they go? There was Township of Perth, I think, and then Prince Edward County, and I know there's quite a bit different sizes to the municipalities of all of us. But at the end of the day, it's not to go to an extreme, but kind of be in the middle somewhere. And I think those were kind of some good examples. And one had the extreme of it had every possible document relating to a project and everything on the webpage, and then another Township of Perth, I think, was just mostly a very brief title and summary and nothing else. It was, so I think there was a kind of a, maybe an option. I think there was a capability of maybe a nice little middle ground for that. And that's where, you know, I have this amended motion ready maybe to be read. I don't know. I'm gonna send it over. Okay.
How does that, this is the motion, can we amend it to his?
Motion to amend the motion.
Okay. Okay. Did you send it over?
I did.
Still long.
Well, it's less long.
It's longer?
There's a lot of info in there.
Is it an amendment or a new motion that he's sending?
It's an amendment, but he's incorporated it into the original motion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's how I should have sent that, but it's because I also shortened some of the, like, instead of 7 years, 5 years or something, like, in accordance with records retention guidelines. Like, I tried to follow a little bit more municipal.
So do you want me to read it and then get a seconder?
Yeah.
We won't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna word this as that the motion be replaced with the following wording. That the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles create and maintain a municipal projects and initiatives webpage on the municipal website. And that each featured project include a brief description, current status, estimated timeline, budget, grant funding sources, and where applicable, associated
Oh, associated.
studies and links to relevant public staff reports or council agendas as determined by administration. And that the webpage apply to major capital works, infrastructure projects, municipal studies, and planning initiatives as determined by administration. And that the webpage be updated on at least a quarterly basis or as major milestones are achieved. And that all projects that remain ongoing or that have been completed within the previous 2 years be included on the webpage. And that completed projects remain accessible on the webpage for up to 5 years following completion in accordance with records retention guidelines. And that any information deemed confidential, restricted by legislation, solicitor-client privilege, closed session provisions, privacy legislation, procurement restrictions, or other applicable legal exemptions be excluded from public posting as determined by the municipality.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Deschamps. Okay, I just want to reiterate, like, it's pretty much similar to what we had discussed earlier on, I know it's a different format, the web versus social media, but the objective in my mind was similar. But we'll go through, any comments or?
No, I agree with what he's done, the amendment.
Okay,
It's two different.
okay,
I
two
get it,
different,
yes,
okay.
yeah. From what we talked prior.
So you're saying that you want to impose these requirements, or is it at the discretion of the staff? Is that what it's stated?
It says that each featured project include brief description, current status, estimated timeline, budget, grant funding sources, and where applicable, associated studies and links to relevant public staff reports or council agendas as determined by administration.
So it's up to the administration.
What they include in,
What's included?
Included in the,
potatoes.
yeah.
not dinner, but just meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just that, like, man hours are also like something we have to consider, and if we, at least it's at their discretion, but, so it could be just a one-liner per project sort of a deal.
Yeah, I think the information is already there, right? It's just to put it together and create a website
Yeah.
or like a,
Yeah. You're gonna do that after work? You?
maybe.
Yeah,
If you
there
want.
we go. So, your responsibility. No, but it just, it takes time, and it takes hours, and it takes,
I think it's gonna be a lot of hours to start, but I think once it starts, it should flow eventually. That's how I see it, because it's all the information is there, it's just to put it all together. And it should be transparent to everyone.
can I ask staff, would this be time consuming, or how many?
It will be time consuming. I don't take that away
No,
whatsoever.
but to the detriment of the other obligations on their task, like, that they have. That's my only concern. I don't want all of a sudden that this become a new requirement, that instead of looking at new grant options, oh, no, we can't put that away. Now we gotta do the reporting on what we did last week or last month.
I think it's major projects that you're talking about, right?
It's-
It's not everyday, right? It's not an
Yeah.
everyday thing. It's like the projects, the big projects, and we said, the Sawmill Bay Park, like, she gave it detailed information. Just put it out there, and then everyone else, not everyone is looking at the meetings and stuff. That's the problem, and then they come back to us and question us.
Okay,
About
if the problem is about questioning us, like, I've been doing a little bit of research on how we could have access to all of them.
But then they have to go ahead and implement that so we can have access. So what's the difference of putting it out there to the public?
Because if somebody asks a question on Sawmill Bay Park to you, we'll say, I'm not there yet, and I've been talking to Tammy here about it, and there's a way that within the internal,
Through VPN and a shared drive.
Yeah.
we can do a search on Sawmill Bay Park. It'll list any of the minutes relating to that, so we're not having to go through like everything, but
But someone has to put that in, input that, right?
it's there, but it's the research, it's the, okay, Sawmill Bay Park,
Right?
I've done it.
Yes, that's what I mean, so it's already done.
I did it today.
Okay,
But
so
it-
that's what I mean. What's the difference putting it there or putting it,
on the web,
yes,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what I'm,
That's,
yeah.
I
so
don't
just put a
understand.
list, we could put a list, if you're thinking, Sawmill Bay Park, minutes of January 10th,
Yeah.
and then go at it. They can go and do their own research, because it's the coalescing of everything. That's not there. That is not there. That is not something that can be done at the drop of a hat. It's not, it's time consuming. That's what I'm just saying.
But if,
You can do a search on Sawmill Bay
I
Park.
understand that, but if like the clerk stated she already did that and she's willing to do that, or you want to, for her to do that for prior items, right? Is that what you want?
So what I did today was for council on their shared drive, you now have access to all the minutes since 2022. They're just, all the minutes are loaded up for you. All of the bylaws are there, the resolutions, you've got, it's basically an Excel sheet of all the resolutions made in a year. And what else? Oh, certain policies are there. So that's all available on your shared drive under that MSC bylaws.
It's, but the
So
search option that
you could go into the search, so if you pulled up the minutes and just in the search of the directory search, type Sawmill Bay, it will pull up all of the minutes that Sawmill Bay was discussed.
So it facilitates it for if you're trying to help somebody. It's just to coalesce all of the things together, pulling it out, making it into a report format that can be posted for Sawmill Bay Park.
You put it in the share file, so.
Yeah.
The search option works for you, but doesn't work so well for us, but I think there's
That's what it does.
solutions. There's solutions there, but you get it, I don't get it.
Okay.
So, but I'm sure there's a way of doing it. Anyhow, so that's where I'm getting at. If as council, we want to be able to access everything easily, I think we're almost there. But to have it coalesced and made into a big, nice report that can be dropped onto the Facebook, or I think that is a very time-consuming item. Any comments?
Yeah, I don't agree with it. We agreed with option one to have just a basic report on our website, to have our staff, which are limited, summer holidays and everything, when are they gonna have the time to do this? So, I would say we started off with let's go with option one, start slow, and, you know, when the new term comes up and maybe in the winter, or if we have more staffing, like we've got that 17 hours, maybe if we can get that Service Ontario to help out a little bit, maybe that's when we can look at changing something, but for now, I would say leave it alone.
With the
Just
option
the
one?
option one.
Okay. How about yourself, Councillor Lachance?
Well,
Yeah, you were the
You
first
spoke
one.
first.
oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
You didn't finish though.
Oh, right.
From what Councillor Putz is saying, I see that he's saying if we put that, because we're already talking about putting it on the municipal website and then putting it on the social media for our monthly or quarterly announcements or significant projects. So that's kind of falling in line. I think it's just a separate tab on the website that just says our projects, right? So if you're copying, like when you go on the municipal web page, you have, for example, it says news. After news, you have one that just says projects or meetings or whatever. So the layout of it, I'm sure you're familiar with the website. If you had a tab that just said projects or our projects, click on that, and that's where it's just about the creation of that separate tab for people to be able to
Click
find
on
it
it,
easily
yeah.
on the website. For us to have access, I know there's ways for us to have access, and I know we discussed it last time, but it would be nice to be able to have it, and I think it's a great idea, that helps us to dig in a little bit deeper, but just for skimming the surface, having that one little tab where you can click on it, and when we upload the information, we upload it to that tab, and from there you share it to the social media, because it's gotta, going forward, it's gonna have to be created anyways. So me, the whole point, like, again, the part of it that, for me, is the time consuming part is going back 2 years and taking what was done in the last 2 years. That's where it can be, I see the time consuming part of it, but going forward, I don't think it's a horrible, unfeasible thing to do.
But in a way, historical, it is there. So in a way, but it's the coalesce it. But it's as we're moving ahead, where people are so busy during the summer, moving about doing the job, that the reporting phase is lagging. But that's where it becomes a little bit more tricky.
I didn't see any wording in there saying that it has to be
Doesn't have to be
uploaded
tomorrow.
within a timeline or anything, that's why.
Okay, as long as there's no,
Well, it didn't say that in the,
We can put a
Also-
timeline if it makes it further away, like, I don't know. It
If
doesn't have to be-
there's no
I didn't see a
mention, it
deadline.
is-
They just said about keeping it on there for 5 years and for the 2 years prior. I agree, the 2 years prior could be
Less.
heavier workload than going forward,
yeah, okay.
But I don't, again, the motion's written as 2 years prior, so. Unless you want to amendment.
Well, there's no timeline for implementation, that's the thing, it's,
No timeline for implementation, and it's just the 2 years back part, I see that's where everyone's seeing the work hours, the labor there, and I understand that, but
Mhm.
going forward, I don't think it's something that's hard to maintain.
Okay, it's all a matter of what the detail, and if we're talking about going forward with option one and just having an extra little tab as it was described previously already, option one where,
The option was for social media?
It's social media.
for social media, but
Yeah.
Different,
This is
it's a whole
It's a
different,
whole different thing.
it's a whole different
This is
thing.
specific, because if someone wants to, if a
yeah.
person wants to go on social media, on the Facebook page or whatever, and look for a specific thing, they're gonna scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll back to find it.
Yeah.
If they go on the website, and they say, if they wanna see what the projects are, they just click the tab that says our projects, and it's, they'll have to scroll down to their specific project they're.
but it's the
looking
same
for.
data.
Exactly, same data,
There
so
we
you
go.
only have to create it once and you just share it.
So
you don't
the,
have
the
to-
data as described in option one, how's that?
It has nothing to do with that.
No, but the
Is-
the data was, in option one, we were talking about how, what sort of
We're talking
information.
about his motion though. His motion has nothing to do with option one. Right now, we're talking
It's not about
his
social
motion.
media.
Okay,
This is just the content, like
the content of what's going in.
This is your, what.
You
what
can use this to
happened,
create your social media.
And then after
essentially.
you develop what happened, it could just be shared to the social media page off there and still be able to be accessed and researched on the municipal website. site
Okay,
going forward.
so there's no timeline. It's at the discretion of the
Staff.
staff. All right, so we've had discussion, let's vote. All those in favor?
I'm not in favor.
Me neither,
So,
but carried. Okay. Next item. Addendum.
I want to stuck up on it.
Mover and a seconder for going into the addendum. Councillor Lachance, Councillor Petit.
Moved by Councillor Lachance and seconded by Councillor Pelletier. Be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby approves the addendum to the July 15 regular meeting of council.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, 9.21, Director of Operation. Parking request.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Director of SEBS and I will both collaboratively speak to this item. This report was submitted in regards to the correspondence that was received from the organizer of the Family Baseball Tournament event. They're requesting from council to consider to provide temporary parking and traffic accommodations. In the report, it says that it's only along Casimir Road, but looking back into the correspondence, it's actually asking for Casimir Road as main, but that on all roads in general on one side. So this report was submitted just to have, for council to have the opportunity to discuss and to come to an agreement to provide to the organizers. And we will respond to any questions that you guys may have during your considerations. There is a few different options for council to consider that were provided by staff that was outlining that, well, either or for council to direct staff and how they would regard or how they would prefer staff to implement controls. And then for council to either direct staff to maintain the enforcement or provide temporary suspension of enforcement for the organizers. Yes.
And I'd like to just add quickly that we have not been asked, I'm speaking on behalf of the bylaw department, we have not been asked to attend on Saturday. This is not a day that we have anyone scheduled. The reason why somebody was on site last year when there were warnings given out was that was a scheduled Saturday, because we do have usually a Saturday a month where bylaw will patrol. I just want to put that statement out there before we get too much in the details of how we want to handle this day. But clearly we have passed a parking bylaw, and clearly this is an issue for the organizers. I think this is also an overall issue with how we are dealing with the rentals for these large events, and that perhaps the entire large event should be looked at earlier than a month before the event to speak to where parking should be if travel trailers are on site. Like, there are a few issues going on with these events that maybe we won't resolve tonight or for this particular event, but that we could probably work with the organizers overall to not just say, we're not going to enforce a bylaw that is in place for safety reasons and to keep people safe, but that maybe this is a bigger issue that can be brought forward later on to work with organizers, but we'll discuss that with council this evening.
Okay. I agree, like, for safety's sake, I think that's the key we have to keep in mind. If a child is running between two cars and somebody's driving down the road, because if they park on both sides of the road, it becomes hazardous to maybe have cars that run into one another, or having, what scares me the most, an injury with a child, because it becomes very congested, and the kids sometimes don't look where they're going. But what is your opinion on?
Can you clarify, did we agree with the fire route only on one side of Casimir? Or was it both sides?
It's on this side of the community center. Yeah, one side.
One side, yeah.
But the other side has many driveways, so it does limit the amount of parking. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to see that staying, like that's an emergency, like that's not even a question to bring up. To suspend the parking, it's just, I find, I know how busy it is on this designated the weekend, and with construction and stuff. I don't mind seeing it suspended for municipal village road, like the roads. So you're looking at King Street, Saint Joseph, like all of the municipal roads in the town. We don't have a fire route going towards the arena, right? Like, there should be one, I think, eh?
South side of King's fire route.
Yeah, so like, I think we gotta make sure that all the fire routes are like clear, and I think it needs to be posted though, we need signs. Especially for that weekend. I know with the construction.
That was going to be commented on because the intent for paving is actually on July 27th. I've done the locates, so
Are you doing
as
a
soon
temporary
as
or
the
something?
no, they will be permanently installed. But yeah, we'll just wait until the paving is done. We've got the locates underway, and we'll try to have all the signage appropriately erected before the event.
And I did have it in my little sheet here. You brought it up about campers. I know we had brought it forward last year about people having fires and campers on municipal grounds. Was it brought forward? Because I know we had asked to bring it forward, or we had mentioned it. I think that needs to be brought forward before the weekend.
In which way?
Well, first of all, I don't think that they should be having, it's, how do we, how can you maintain 10 or 15 trailers on municipal grounds? Like, who gave them permission to do that? And why is it okay for them to have a fire pit?
That's in the trailer bylaw about municipal properties and all.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. They can approach council to ask for permission to be on municipal property. No, I didn't realize this was happening until that Saturday when we had bylaw in place, and we realized, and I believe there were potentially calls about fires, or we then knew that there were fires. Yes, so no, nobody was made aware, and this is another thing that should be brought to council for permission.
I think if it's brought forward and then discussed, I think that's the way to do it.
Well,
There's a rod and gun club just down the road that's empty. They can.
Well, that's what I
They can
mean,
figure it
like,
out.
who gave them permission to?
nobody, and they're doing it without permission. They're doing it illegally, so
If the
it's a
parish wants
bylaw
to rent
issue.
the Rod and Gun Club to allow for campers, they can do that. There's nothing stopping them
Yeah.
from doing that.
Okay, so, yeah.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted
Yes.
to make a comment that within our rental agreement, it does say that the organizers are required to follow all municipal bylaws.
There we go.
I
So-
honestly think that needs to be brought forward to them prior to the weekend. So they're aware. I don't know if it should be them, or do we just let it happen, or like, how does that work?
If you,
Yeah, that-
if you go
Well,
where they
we'll-
set up their campers and you set up like a temporary parking lot ahead of time, they won't be able to park there. That's it. Simple. But that has to be the organizers that do that.
I was just
Yes.
trying to summarize, we did meet as staff and discuss the subject. I think there will be a notice provided by staff, we're not sure who's gonna lead the notice, whether it's me or bylaw or fire. But there will be notice about the trailers, if they wanna have trailers on site, they have to seek permission, and unfortunately, there's a bit of a time issue. I know the fire chief has made it clear that he will be enforcing fire routes and fires on site, so that, we will tell them ahead. We won't wait till the Saturday or the Friday night to show up.
There we go.
We'll do a fair exercise to let them know that there's consequences, and maybe we can help them work it out with the rod and gun, and they can have maybe a better time with the rod and gun issues. I know the walking distance to their trailer site is a bit different, but I think what we understand is there'll be a notice from the municipality, and whether it's 3 different letters or somebody takes a lead.
I know they have a beer fence too, but like when you have campers there, we are very aware that they are drinking on site.
Yes, and unfortunately, it is still public property, which is still an issue.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Councilor Loftus, any comments?
No, I just want to make sure that the fire routes are maintained, especially on Casimir where the houses are. I don't think anything should be obstructing. If they need to go, they can park, I believe, closest to the community center, 1 lane, but the fire route needs to, eh?
The other side of the road.
Is it, why is it on the other side?
Fire route? It's on the side of the community hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So not on the side of the houses, right?
They can park in front of the houses, but not in front of the community center.
There will be signs.
Okay.
They can park
All
on
right,
this
yeah,
side.
okay, well, I was on one side, yes. And even going down this road, both sides of the road can't be blocked because with the new pavement, I haven't seen the road yet. But last year, it was pretty congested, like both sides
Yeah,
were full on
making
both
it-
sides. Yeah, and it makes it congestion and,
For any fire or
yes, for the
emergency
fire
vehicle
truck or
needing
somebody
to go
trying to
by.
get down the road, so, I mean, if you stick to one side of the road, then I don't have an issue with that. And as far as the campers, well, I don't know where these campers come from, I don't even know who they are, but they end up there every year.
They
Yeah,
multiply every year.
yeah,
Yeah,
and exactly, it's growing. Any comments, Councilor Putzi?
No, I think it's pretty clear. I know like last year it got, like it's getting a little bit blown out of proportion because there was a few warnings issued last year, but that's all they were, warnings. It was just.
They were
hey,
just warning that.
You gotta move your vehicle, like you're potentially gonna get fined parked here. And it was just, it really, I think it scared a lot of people last year, and I think that's just what they need to be aware of is it's not in the interest of the municipality to go out there and be fining everybody, it's just to maintain safety, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything to add, Councilor Deschamps?
Can we give direction to staff to set up a temporary parking, or will that have to be something that the organization does? Because if we have some T-bars and some quarter-inch nylon rope along the backside of the arena, like where this secondary proposed daycare location was, or they wanted to go behind the arena, you set a T-bar up with a rope, divide car here, car there, makes it a lot harder to park a camper there. You know, so I don't know if that's something that we can do. What's that, sorry?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to block the area as the municipality, is that what you're saying? Like to block off, to not let it be?
Like if
Used?
you went to the area that is east of the arena,
if the grass is there, not by the helipad obviously, or the grass is, if you took a T-bar first, where the helipad is, T-bar this way, so nobody can go past that point for parking, and then just put one row north to south to divide for like a car can park on this side, a car can park on that side, and just one row of rope. So people can see, okay, these are parking spots now for one in the front, one in the back. It's creating more parking, so now people won't park with, now that there's a spot there, they'll think, okay, well, I can't park in the middle, it's one vehicle, which is what they usually do. One can go in the front, one can go around the back, kind of thing, and you won't be able to park an RV on that side. And the front side, well, it's already packed, there's no room to expand it. I mean, like I got it on, I'll take a screenshot and I'll just kind of
But is that
something up and.
staff should do this or the organizers?
Labor wise, like it'd probably take a few hours, just a few hours to do. If we T-bar, I'm sure we have some at the municipal garage and rope.
I think that we could provide the recommendation to the organizer and offer maybe the materials if they were, but again, they're signing a rental agreement saying that they're going to abide by the applicable bylaws. We can help them, giving them the information and potentially the materials,
Exactly.
but the resources are very limited in our departments.
Okay.
And part of the suggestion will be like also letting them know like this really is your event. So yes, we'll work with you and come up with suggestions. But I've been to certain events where, you know, they're working with teams, right? They can send out notices to their teams where parking will be allowed and not allowed. At least some people will know. And then potentially they might need volunteers in that area as well, wearing vests and making sure that it's being safely done. Like this is what good events provide. And I've been to good events like this where exactly like that, parking lots are created with tape and with pylons or T-bars. Like this can be done. So this will be the suggestion to the volunteers. But in the end, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they have to do it.
Okay, so staff will be writing either as individuals or as a one group the note to the organizers, letting them know what's permitted and what's not. All right, and that's it. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn the addendum? Councillor Lachance, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Lachance and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby adjourns the addendum and returns to the July 15, 2026 regular meeting of council.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay. What, you had something you wanted to add on the addendum?
I'm sorry, the direction was not quite clear on whether council wanted to allow parking on one side of the street on all the other roads. Which was
That's
part of
what I
which was
wanted.
part of the request.
I think I heard 3 councillors
Yeah.
state that it was a yes.
I'm in favor of it.
Yes.
One side of the.
One side.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Unless parking is already allowed on both sides? I don't know.
No, not through the bylaw.
Well, here.
Okay,
There it's painted though.
Oh,
The
okay.
paint's gone right now.
okay, now we're going to the next item, which is the closed session. Can I have a mover and a seconder to go into close? Councillor Potier, Councillor Framboise?
Do we have enough time? Should we?
It's just one item.
Two?
Two small items. Moved by Councillor Pelletier and seconded by Councillor LaFramboise, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby opens a closed session at 9:23 p.m. to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, as authorized under Section 239, Bracket 2, Bracket B of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Topic: staff conflict. Next, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board as authorized under Section 239, Bracket 2, Bracket E of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Topic: potential litigation, property damage.
All those in favor? Carried.
We're back on.
Is that on? Yeah. Okay, can I have a mover and a seconder to reconvene? Councillor Pottier, Councillor Loftus?
Moved by Councillor Putzi and seconded by Councillor Loftus. Be it resolved that having dealt with all matters pertaining to the closed session, we hereby reconvene to the regular meeting of council at 9:56 p.m.
All those in favor? Carried. Direction was given to staff on both matters and they will be following up. Next, mover and a seconder to confirmation bylaws. First, money. Can we do it? Yeah. Councillor Pottier, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Pache and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved that council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives first and second reading to the following bylaw, bylaw 2026-45, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its special meeting of council held June 16, 2026, and at its regular meeting of council held July 15, 2026.
All those in favor? Carried. Mover and a seconder for third and final reading. Councillor Laframboise, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Loftus. Be it resolved that council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2026-45.
All those in favor? Carried. Mover and a seconder to adjourn. Councillor Pottier, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Putzi and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved that the regular meeting of council of July 15, 2026 be adjourned at
58.
9:58 p.m.
All those in favor? Carried. Meeting is adjourned.